No, I didn't even pay for StreamYard. Look, there's a duck, and we're live.
I remember when it used to be Google Hangouts. It used to be free.
I was gonna use Skype, but I figured
Whoa.
that's
Oh my
for work,
goodness.
but-
Baller.
Dude, there's 6 people. I think 3 of that is us, and then the other one's Dingleberry, then the collector. So, there's 9 now. Well, that was nice. I feel like Eminem right now. We're making a comeback.
Yeah.
Delo's still here, but
Delo's
left-
still relevant.
haven't left yet.
I'm Mr. Irrelevant. I should change my name, but it's been a while. Holy crap! I think the last time we did the stream,
September. I just looked on their thing. It's almost a year.
Holy shoot!
Yeah.
By the way, we got 2 Giants fans and a Bears fan here. What the? It's like a two Giants fans and a Bears
already.
fan.
Knowing that
Are you guys tanking? Let's just make that. Let's take that out of the way. Are you guys tanking?
I don't know. I've been watching Hard Knocks. I don't know.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know. I mean, they make it look like it's a promising season, but they said that about the Jets last year, right? When they had
the injury happened, so then I guess they just tanked. I don't know if you guys need an injury, but
But the thing is, I think tanking is on the assumption that that you're doing this on purpose. I don't think we know we're doing this on purpose. I think we're just really bad.
Yeah,
that's gonna be the Bulls. Organically, we're gonna tank.
Organically, I love it.
It's not on purpose. It's just the byproduct of our roster. Is where.
Yeah. By the way, I dedicate this to Lane Kramer right here.
Oh God, dude! Did you see my video about? Did you see the video about Black Widow? And I was just like, oh my God, thank God, because the zipper is not actually a zipper; it's like rubber. And I was thank
really?
God, Lane just canceled his pre-order right now.
It doesn't go all the way down.
Yeah, I mean, it could if you want to, but
not for me, guys. I'm a pass.
Can I tell you, I did own a Black Widow.
I hope that's washable, but all right, dude.
Just real quick, I just want to say real quick, like I did own a Black Widow figure. It was my first like female hot toy figure.
You said it's still intact?
Maybe not. Long story. No, the thing too is that like I remember when I got it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a Black Widow, and I like started combing the hair, and I like after like 5 minutes, I'm like, okay,
you lost testosterone, right? Like the testosterone level went down. Yeah,
I was like, oh, ow, okay, maybe I should put this down right away. As good as it is.
Before we start, I just want to say because I was fixing my Inart Joker. So I was in Target, in the hair aisle, which I don't have a lot of hair anyway. I'm picking up stuff. I picked up Mark Anthony curling things. And then I picked up another thing, like, my wife was like recommending stuff. So I picked up like maybe $20 worth of hair products, maybe more. And then I was there, like, combing his hair, trying to make it work, I mean, that's $1,000, so I was just trying to make it work. And then I just gave up on life. That's the time I went to my email and then changed my pronouns right there and then.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Can we say that? Can we say that?
Well, I did. I'm now Inart. My pronouns are now Inart.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just changed it to Inart because I feel like I'm a part of them now.
Wow. They're inside you.
Yeah.
Whoa. Pause. Wait, what? No Diddy. No Diddy.
We're hitting the ground running.
This is what
this is gonna be a really interesting stream.
We should put this in the middle because early on people were like, "What the? Let's just get out of here."
Clip it.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least our viewers are Dingleberry. I mean, what more can you ask for? You got Dingleberry in the house here.
Yeah, I think I might have one now. I'm just kidding.
Dingleberry? We got 15. That's kind of like
awesome.
Confused.
It's a like button. Trust me, it's a once a year thing.
This is a once a year thing, guys. This is like what's something that comes out every once a year? At least we're not leap year or something, So.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Well, I get some familiar faces here, man.
Yeah, Emmanuel, what's up, man? Love that portrait. I mean, the profile.
Yeah.
Riker. Potential Hulk. Oh yeah, that's coming, man. All those, people wanting like all these characters. Just give it some time.
It'll come.
It'll come. Red Hulk. Oh, come on. Red Hulk in that.
That's definitely.
That's definite. I mean,
definitely happening.
That's definitely happening. I just want to know how, like, in comparison to size, and I'm talking about the Hulk, nothing else. It's just like the Hulk and Red Hulk. Like, how big are they?
Big it would be? I would say the same as Hulk. You know what would be funny if they just paint the old Hulk red.
That's probably what it's going to be.
Just to
you know it's true.
Wait a minute.
I mess with us.
Yeah.
It's like, you guys want rooted hair? Yeah, we're just gonna paint it red. Well, props to Had Rifter though.
Shout out! What's up, Had Rifter, man? Thanks for tuning in.
Shout out to comics as well. Manny's wallet is in shambles. Hey,
man, my god, dude. Yeah.
PJ, are you still? What's your last Hot Toys that you bought?
Oh my gosh, dude. I haven't bought a Hot Toys in a long time.
Like a year?
Oh, no, I pre-ordered. Does that count?
I mean, you're not out of the game if you
pre-ordered.
Yeah, okay. I pre-ordered the Artisan Luke Skywalker from Dark Empire.
Ooh, okay.
I was able to snag one, but I really don't want to keep it. I just want to use that as like trade bait. Like if someone out there has the Artisans,
you are not a real collector. That's the problem with you.
I am a collector. It's just, you know what it is. I reserve my opinions when we get to the topics, but I really watch a really good like collecting documentary show on Netflix. I don't know if you guys.
The one with the Jordans on it. Is that the one?
Ken Golden, like you know. Yeah. And you know what it is too. Like watching that show just made me feel good as a collector. And you know what's crazy about this show is that all these collectors from all different parts of the world, especially the guy who collected all the NBA worn jerseys from Puerto Rico, and he pretty much had all the superstars, right? And all the like really expensive jerseys. But you know what's is making him sell his some of his collection? Space. Like he's got like racks of like jerseys, and he's like, yeah, I can't keep on going. I need to sell some of this stuff.
Well, you can start by selling your X-Men behind you.
Oh,
no one likes them anyway.
What? Well, they're gonna like them after Deadpool, I think.
That's true. That's true.
I can give you $20.
No, dude, that's better than
from a statue con, so he has the statue bug.
Dude, that's better than
a little bit.
Dude, that's better than my IG-11, man. People are offering me like, actually, I have to offer people money to buy my IG-11.
What do you expect? That's 40% off right now if you buy something in stock.
Yeah,
IG-11. So
IG-11, dude. Like this guy offered me $110 for IG-11
with a massage.
Yeah, I'm like, I was like,
accepted.
So
fine.
When are we meeting? No, but like honestly though, like I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep it. Yeah. Why sell it? Like at that point, it's just you're giving it like for
you go on a dinner. That 111 is not gonna go far.
No, like that's just like maybe 2 meals at Chick-fil-A. Yeah. Like
eggs and milk. That'll do.
And the thing too is that like, you know, watching that show just shows like for me, and I recommend that show to anybody. If you guys have Netflix, please watch is it the Golden Touch or something like that? King of Collectibles. But anyway, a lot of those collectors, like when they collect something, basically it holds value, right? And they use that value of that collection to fund other things. The guy who sold all those NBA worn jerseys, he wasn't going to just keep the money. He was using that to buy other things. And it just goes to show you, like, from all walks of life, you're a super high-end collector, all the way down to like Funko Pops or even like Hot Toys. You know, you're using your collection to fund your collection. But then when you take that out of it, right, then it's hard to keep collecting that same type of collectible, in my opinion. Yeah. So,
but speaking of collectible, Dilo, did you had the Sideshow Grievous
for a day? For literally for a day. Like it broke right out the box. Like literally the hand fell off, like completely ripped off within seconds of taking it out the box.
Oh yeah. Shit.
Actually, to be honest, D'Lo, I have these old Sideshow premium format, and literally, like, it's so delicate just because of the arms, right? It's so delicate that it broke. Like one of the arms broke, so I have to like glue it together. It's just this character or this figure or even like this statue is just so hard to, to handle.
Yeah.
Now, D'Lo, with that being said, are you gonna pick this up? Are you?
Oh,
it's Hot Toys now, so we're talking
1,000%. 1,000%. I've been waiting a long time ever since that day where I was traumatized. I was hurt by the good folks at Sideshow with that terrible 1/6 figure. I pre-ordered that thing too.
What do you think they would do here that would prevent that from happening?
Well, first thing, diecast. This has diecast in it here. So automatically, it's going to be heavier. It's gonna be, the original Sideshow piece was very light, very, very plasticky, very fragile. Like literally, like joints, even the slightest move, some people literally were telling me that they're just completely ripped off just by trying to stand up that old Sideshow figure. So for me, I already got word from the street that people were getting theirs and it was defective. I pre-ordered mine when it came out, got it, mine broke. I was like, nope, I'm not gonna even try anymore. This is going back. I'm just gonna wait for Hot Toys to make one. I think it's been, God, I want to say maybe 4 years since that happened. I think it's 3 or 4. It's been a while. I mean, this was early pandemic before maybe that it came out. I can be wrong with my times, but
I think you're right. It's about like 3 or 4 years.
But I mean, I've waited patiently for this to come, and I mean, it doesn't look like it's going to disappoint. It's got die-cast reinforced frame on it there. It's got USB lightsabers, great. It's got a wired cape, and honestly, like the details on it here are a billion times better than we got with the Sideshow one. So out of all the ones that were announced today, this is the one I'm probably most excited about.
Oh, nice. I'm wondering how they would hide, because I haven't had a USB lightsaber yet, but from what I heard, it's from a Jedi. You put it on inside a robe, like you run the cord in there. But in here, without the cape, you're pretty much exposed with that. I mean, I guess you don't really have to use the USB light up if you don't want to, but I'm interested to see that there's still other better solutions than that anyway, though, right? Like, you can't do this battery.
No, sure. I mean, that's a good question, because the ones we currently have now have like a junction box. So you just plug all the cables to the sabers into the power on, and a USB cable sticking out the middle. It's not ideal. It's still very much a work in progress. It's better than the batteries that we used to get forever ago. But a lot of folks, they go the custom route. They'll go through Fusion Reactor and all the other custom makers out there, and they'll go that route. For me, kind of expensive, because this guy has 4 lightsabers, and we're talking about just one can be pretty expensive. So, I mean, I'm hoping, and I doubt it, but I'm hoping that Hot Toys will figure out a better solution to the one they have, because I have a few of their figures that have that functionality right now, and the USB lightsaber, it's not that impressive. It really feels like it's really not where it should be yet. So we'll see.
Well, I was gonna say I'll recommend like Optical and I's cousin from the Philippines, Chris Custom Sabers. I remember Chris.
Oh yeah.
He's really good, and he's cheap too. Like, honestly,
that's a CCFL. Is that?
Yeah, CCFL, right? Yeah. So if you're wanting a cheaper route, definitely recommend it. And you could see his work. He's got like a Facebook page, and his work is phenomenal. He does it for figures, statues, whatever.
I guess you could run the wires on his hands, right? Like behind it, but it has to be really thin wires.
Yeah, you probably have to put that cloak on. Yeah, because a lot of his figures that he did it for have cloaks. Like a lot of the Jedis, have the cloaks and stuff. So.
Yeah. All right, PJ, I know you're kind of out, but is this something that you might pick up for future trades, or?
Man, I actually had the Sideshow version, and just like D'Lo, I opened it up and I just started because I know the issues with it. I know the complaints about the Sideshow figure, so I took maybe one hand and I started playing around with it, and I'm like, you know what? It's too flimsy. It's going to break. So I sold it. And the guy that got it like said that everything was fine, but I just didn't want to take a chance. I was just like, I don't think so. But with that being said, I mean, this is Grievous and it looks great. I knew this was gonna happen. I think a lot of us that that saw with Hot Toys with the things that they were doing recently were speculating that they were gonna come out with a Grievous, and obviously we are all correct, and it looks great, man. I think I might just pick this up just to have a Grievous in my collection. Like the Grievous I do have a Sideshow statue version of it, but it's so flimsy and I'm so scared to handle that thing that I think with what Dila said about the die-cast reinforcements, it's true, right? I didn't read too much into it. I haven't really. I know I saw it online, but I haven't read up on like the details in it. It does have die-cast, right?
Yeah,
it
they
does.
showed like some red parts. I
Yeah.
don't think everything's die-cast, but it's nice, you know.
Yeah, the thing, my question is like, obviously if it's die-cast and depending on where the die-cast is, all right, if it's in the arms, it's going to make the figure like it's
Isn't that going to be heavy then?
yeah, it's gonna be the heavy, but then how about the arms? When you display it up, is it gonna like start floating downward?
Isn't that the problem with Sideshow as well? I don't know. I've never had that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but hands can't stay up.
Sideshow statues, I just think that with the arms up, and you want to display it up, you're not going to display it down by its side unless you want to, but I'm sure you can. But I just feel like I got to see people's reviews on it, and obviously I'm going to pre-order it. And if I feel like a lot of the consensus say that it's a good figure, it's holding up, there's no issues, then I think I'll keep my pre-order. But I think it's great. I think Hot Toys is really giving a lot of the Star Wars collectors what they want, what they've been wanting for such a long time. And this is one of those figures. I mean, yeah, one of those characters that we wanted.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. So what I'm noticing from the photos that Hot Toys put up about the Grievous here, specifically on where you're going to see the diecast there, it looks like it was done with like consideration to where the faulty points were with the Sideshow piece. Like for example, like you guys mentioned the arms, absolutely too much die cast. Instantly, it's just going to just have that effect where it's just going to drop down when you're trying to pose it there. The metal is specifically placed in the elbow joints, which is a good, smart move there because essentially that's going to reinforce the holding of the sabers up, but it's not going to put too much tension on the joints.
That's true.
So when you put him up in those like that flared out position when he has all four of his arms extended, it doesn't look like it's gonna wear down the figure over time, that's a great point you put up there because I had to look back there and say, well, where exactly is the diecast here? Because it's a good point. Diecast can be heavy depending on where you put it.
Yeah. And that's great that they highlighted those areas, right? Those problematic areas that I'm sure that Sideshow had. And one thing with Hot Toys is that when has a figure ever really like gave collectors problems, right? Besides the Force Awakens Chewbacca. I mean, that thing, just look at it. But besides that, like okay, yeah, some of the Iron Man figures, like with the batteries, they're annoying, which they corrected now. But in the most part, it was still a working figure, and it was great. Like even when you pose the Iron Man, it had die-cast parts, and it still kind of held up after a while. So
it's gonna be fun, especially for those who just is longing for this. So a lot of people are just upset about. Now let me ask you guys, so I've seen posts now on BTS. I know you guys sold that. How much was it originally for? $300, right?
It was up there. It was not cheap.
Yeah. I think I sold mine for like $330, $340 or something like that.
That is still pretty good. Because now I've seen like $140, $150 on BTS.
Well, this is like during the pandemic, right? Like when I sold mine. And I think a lot of collectors were, new collectors also were getting into the market. So yeah, I was able to sell it for a pretty good
Would you guys recommend those guys to, how much is this going to be for? Let's say $450, right?
Yeah. Anyone know the price for this thing or no?
I mean, I think it's an HKD, but that's always hard to gauge.
Right.
Add like 27% from Sideshow or something. There was a price here. Let's see.
Yeah. If anyone in the chat knows how much it is. And is this a pre-order or is this like a summer exclusive? Like, for the
Dude, that's what we're talking about earlier. I was like, what is this really? What is this event about? Is this summer exclusive?
I know. Yeah,
$23.80. That's not a bad price, right?
Then what? Put another 25% on top of that, right? Because you're looking at HKD, right?
Right.
Yeah. Let's see here.
So $23.80. Let's just pretend that this is Inart, where you just buy it from Hong Kong. You don't need to put tax and shipping.
Right.
$23.80 is $305. So I'm assuming it's going to be $350 if we're adding like another 20.
Yeah, let's say $370 out the door, right?
Yeah.
So for $370, and somebody's selling a Sideshow Grievous for $150, for example, shipped. Would you guys even suggest that at all?
No.
Like, hey, why not? No?
I'm sorry for the collectors that do own that old Sideshow version. I just think that it has so many problems, and I mean, good luck selling it, man. I mean, if you're lucky to sell it for even 50, I think. And I'm being honest, I just think no. Yeah, I mean, why would you spend $150 on that Grievous when you could put it towards the new one, which is probably going to be 10 times better than the Sideshow version, right? So
below nothing. What would be a good price for that Sideshow? If you are in the market right now,
100.
You're gonna be like, man, it's my time. They're selling low. Is there a good price for that, or just?
If I was hunting for that figure now, and again, that's me doing you a favor, right? You're trying to, no one wants your figure, right? It's me doing you a favor. It's got to be, and again, I don't want to. I hope you guys have your listings up before I say what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say under 125.
It just,
I agree.
Consider it.
Yeah, because again, I'm doing you the favor.
Right.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. But the thing too is that you have to think too is that I think I mentioned this before. I have the IG-11, and I can't even sell that thing for $125.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
And there's nothing wrong with it. And it's a brand new figure.
Right.
Yeah,
it's a brand new figure.
It's not falling apart. Nothing.
Not falling apart. It's diecast. It's better than the Sideshow Grievous. So I think Delo's being generous there. But I just think that $50 to $75 is what you're going to get out of that.
That's like less than Mesco, man.
No way. I can't see that. But you never know. You never know. For that, if I got to offer that low, I would just keep it at that point, or maybe re-gift it to like a friend or a family member who doesn't have. At that point, I'd rather do that instead. But
make it battle damage. I don't know.
Because what if? I mean, what I worry about too, again, is like that figure is by nature a fragile figure. What if you've had it this whole time, then you ship it to whatever state that they're in, and then they open it up and it's crumbled, right? Because it potentially can happen on its own with you doing nothing to cause it, and then you have to deal with PayPal and all the claims and all that. I'm just saying, worst case scenario. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I mean, with the age, the delicacy there, I mean, dude, just better just keep it or gift it.
Just keep it, like for the IG-11, I'm using that as an example. Like I got offered $120 for it. I'm like, I'm just keeping it. Yeah. Thanks, but no thanks. Like, I mean, it's a Hot Toys figure, and for me, it should hold value. But at that point, I'm keeping it. No, thank you. Yeah. And I would suggest for the people that do own the Sideshow figure, like just keep it. Do something with it, like maybe, like you said, like battle damage it or something. Or give it to your nephew, niece, or whoever, kids.
Yeah, for $125, and it's
nice wedding gift.
Yeah, nice wedding gift. Happy anniversary! Happy anniversary!
It's kind of heavy. Yep, open it up. Congratulations. But dude, speaking of battle damage,
what the?
You haven't seen this, PJ?
No, I did, but I'm just like I don't understand this. Okay,
Dilo, you collect Marvel a lot, right? Like not just.
I am. I like to consider myself a well-rounded collector.
Did you stop? Because I know some people stop collecting Marvel after Endgame. Did you stop at all, or are you still?
No. I just shop smarter. That's all. I mean, you guys are giving away. I'll take them.
Yeah,
I'm doing you the favor.
Yep.
Did you have Iron Spider?
You know what? I did have this one a long time ago, but I wasn't crazy about the suit material back then. It was
really?
It wasn't very flexible. Keep in mind, this was like my first, I think my first real Spider-Man at the time, because I think I had the homemade suit, as well.
Okay.
So I mean that one,
you watched my review. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I commented and subscribed.
There you go. Thank you.
But no, I mean, I had the first one, so it was easy to pose that there. So, like, my expectations being newer to Spider-Man figures at the time, I thought, oh, this is going to be amazing. And then when I got the suit, it was hard to bend. The suit was very stretchy after you put it back in the museum pose after a while. It didn't kind of heal itself like a lot of people say about the newer suits today. This one's probably one of the toughest ones when it comes to that. So, seeing it in 2.0 action now, I am a little bit more hesitant just because I have firsthand experience with this. So if the material's the same, you can bet your bottom dollar you're going to have the same problems the 1.0 did. In fact, if you look onto the left side of that photo where the arm is extended out there, it is the other left. Right, yeah. Look at that there. That is scary. That is scary there. But more importantly, it's scary when it's an artisan figure as well too. So you're paying top dollar, and your suit may deteriorate before your hair does. So it's just.
Do you have a close up with the portrait optical?
I think there you go.
This is rooted hair.
It is.
Okay.
Look at that.
They're getting better. I gotta give it to them. They haven't released a single artisan, but judging from the prototype, when they announced Joker, I'll be like, that Joker, I was just like, all right, that's too thick. But it feels like their prototype is getting better and better. I got to give them that. I'm a bit confused about this one, though. I mean, I welcome it. I like seeing these kind of things, but we just had the red and blue, which arguably is one of his best head sculpt yet, albeit it's not, But why are we going back to Endgame / because this is technically
Thank you.
Infinity War 2, right? Like we haven't gotten this is not technically a 2.0 because they labeled it as Endgame, but this guy was the first Iron Spider was Infinity War. This is kind of like that, but are we done with Endgame, PJ, or is it because we don't have any Marvel? Is this why
that's what I'm saying. Like, why are we doing this again? And now you're devaluing like the Iron Spider that people own now. Like, yes, I get it. It's the artisan that has the portrait, but okay. And the gauntlet,
PJ, that has been devalued a long time ago.
I know, but now it's even more. Now you can't probably give that figure away. But again, like, do something else with it. Like, I don't know, like put it in a new suit or something like that. This is like Dilo said, that suit is really like kind of thick, like, and it's hard to like pose, and you kind of worry about creasing for a very long time. Okay, great. It comes with that portrait. I don't understand. Like, why can't they sell the portrait by itself? I think they'll make more money that way rather than just selling it. Because now you're holding a value for a lot of the collectibles that people own now, especially the old Iron Spider. And now you give them the option just adding the portrait, which is great. Now they're happy. You're making everyone happy. The people that missed out on it, and plus the people that own it still. But then they do something like this, and you're like, oh, come on.
To be fair, they've made a lot of improvements here. Like the lights are now USB compared to the first one. There's no lights at all. The pants is not shiny anymore, so that's not the pleather type material. Yeah. It looks like the hands as well. And they said the pinchers are magnets now. I don't know how that's gonna work. It's not one of those things where it has holes where you plug it in, because they're heavy. I would think they're a different design. Yeah, so I don't know how exactly he's gonna stay on. I hope this is not the Inart magnets where it's magnets, but you still kind of peg it in.
Still peg it in, but even though it's a magnet system, I got you.
It was like kind of defeats the purpose.
Right.
It's why we have magnets, but I hope that's not the case. I mean, the head sculpt looks really good.
It does.
It's just a bit confusing why they went back to the well, considering that there's another. I mean, I get it. Marvel is a bestseller for them, but I don't know. There's another Marvel movie about to come out a week from now that arguably has a Spider-Man, because they were like, spoiler alerts on the trailers. It feels like he's coming out. So I would I mean, this looks good. Don't get me wrong, but I'll caution myself if I was somebody who's going to pre-order this right away. I'd be like, ugh, I don't know.
Now, is this the Artisan? Is there a limited amount of pieces for these?
For Artisan, yes, it says 3,500.
3,500.
And then
Not a
there's
big batch.
there's a regular version, which is not bad.
Oh my god!
I would go with that one. Honestly,
Yeah,
I'm okay with this one.
I'm okay with this one, and you save the extra 200. Plus, I don't think you need to pre-order this right away.
Nope.
I think you could wait for Deadpool, see if he ever comes out, see if they ever come out with a new one. Because even if you're a new collector, who are you going to pair him up with? I mean, I guess there's endgame figures out there, but you know.
See, like for me, like I'm probably going to be like in the minority on this one. I just hate when they redo figures over again. I get it, there's improvements on it, but I mean the old Iron Spider, besides like the suit, which they really haven't improved because it's the same type of suit minus the light up features and the magnets on the thing. I never had any problems with the the legs, the spider legs or whatever you want to call it. I never had an issue with it, but then I guess with the magnets, it's just like another cell to say, oh, wow, we made another improvement. But
yeah,
just stop going back to these figures. Leave it alone. I think they're great figures already. And just like I said, it gives like a lot of. I just can't imagine if I have this figure right now and they came out with this, I'd be like, oh man, here we go, Mandalorian here 2.0. You know, remember Optical when we had
the Crow Mando,
the best car Mando? The Crow Mando came out, and I'm just like, what the fudge?
Like a part of me is okay with this being 2.0, even though they don't claim this a 2.0 because it's been a while, right? That maybe 2000.
It's not 2.0.
Yeah, it's a 2.0. It's okay.
Yeah,
but I just feel like this is an invitation for a FOMO, you know, kind of like, and then then Deadpool comes out in a week, and then you see Spider-Man there, maybe, you know, they'll be like, oh shoot, why did I do this?
yeah. When do they stop though? Like, I'm sure they're gonna make improvements. I just feel like they should just explore other characters rather than keep making the same character over and over again. Like, I mean, there's so many. If that's what they want, is to explore characters that haven't been made, like General Grievous and other things, then start doing that. Like, what are we missing from any of the Avengers characters that haven't been made, right? I don't know. What's next? Like Winter Soldier 2.0 with the rooted hair? Like, you could go forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what it is. I mean, we've been around for so long, you know, the three of us over here. So, I mean, we're kind of the elder statesmen when it comes to stuff. So for us, this is old. In fairness to the people who are coming in, this is like, there's their shot. Oh man, I wanted this figure before. I wasn't collecting, you know, you've heard the story before. Yeah. But I mean, at the same time, like, this is a like substantial like upgrade. Like, and that's where like the lineup that we got, I mean, half of them are 2.0s. Essentially, right, from out of the 6 that we got there, but substantial upgrades, like ones that like warrant a second pickup. If you're a fan of the suit and yours is worn out, you can get this one over here. It's far superior to what we got before. You got to remember, like the the Iron Spider-Man suit is originally from Infinity War. Yeah. Now, the majority of those figures were produced based off of like the original designs, and things changed during, like, for example, Thor, he doesn't have an accurate Stormbreaker, the axe that he got from that movie, right? And they corrected over time. So for Hot Toys, I feel like they can justify this one a little bit more because this figure was kind of semi-inaccurate as well too at the time it was originally came out. And this 2.0, it helps service for another fan base who wasn't available when we were all collecting these over here. They made substantial improvements to the complaints we had from the first one. So in a way, I feel like but I think it's a timing thing. I think it's a matter if you give it enough time, you make substantial enough improvements. I think a 2.0 is warranted. But when it's the same exact figure with better paint apps, but the same issues that the first one had, then you're really kind of insulting the collector at that point and just saying, well, you just ruined the value of mine. Because I don't feel like the other two are the same here. So I don't know. That's kind of how I feel, because I feel like now that we are in this like renaissance of, you know, separated eye rolling system for every figure that was a DX thing back in the day. DX is practically non-existent anymore. Now we're going to the rooted. Back when we were collecting, rooted sucked. We all wanted sculpted everything because it was terrible back then. So I feel like it's kind of like it's coming full circle for Hot Toys, where they're old enough as a company now to where they're okay with going back to the wheelhouse and like revisiting some of these figures, but at least improving them. As long as they're improving them, I'm okay with a 2.0. Yeah. A couple years ago, I would have hated this, but now I've kind of accepted it.
Yeah, the thing too is like, I definitely agree with you. Like, when it's warranted, that you could definitely warrant like a 2.0 or even a 3.0. But the thing too is that, Marvel's not done. There's a lot more. We have Secret Wars that's supposedly coming, and then like how many of those characters are going to be remade? Oh my gosh, Hot Toys is probably salivating on the characters that are going to come in Secret Wars. If you guys don't know what it's basically all the multiverse, all the different Spider-Mans all coming to fight each other So now what is Hot Toys going to do there? I say save it for it's coming. I get it. They want something to, make money now or whatever the case is. They're a company and they're a company to make money. But like, I just feel like they could just reserve like all those improvements for newer characters, because I'm telling you, like when those things come out, like, bam, like you're going to look at your end game stuff and which they are like timeless, like movies. I just feel like you would want like the newer characters rather than the older ones. There could be a new Iron Spider that for who knows that comes out, and then we would want those improvements on that character. I don't know. I just feel like to me, I'm just kind of tired of like, Hot Toys, like just revisiting characters again. I want them to do something new. The General Grievous, that's like a fresh breath hair. Like, I'm like, oh, okay, wow. Okay, cool. The USB technology. Oh my gosh. Diecast. Those are great improvements on the character they haven't done before.
Well, I agree with both of you. I think I'm not even mad at the 2.0. I guess, like Dilo said, it's been 2017, 6 years of 2.0.
Been a while. Been a while.
Yeah,
that's fine. That's it's not like which somebody got 2.0, which was really quick. No, the DX19. The DX19.
Yeah, I was just saying
it was on the
DC fans get it every 2 years, a reissue of their figures. So I mean, it could be worse. You can be a Batman fan like me.
Right. I think the only thing is that we constantly see Spider-Man. Like we literally just had red and blue.
Yep.
And then this. Like he's always, it's not like it's a figure that we haven't seen.
Yeah.
Like if you really want a figure with pinchers, like integrated suit is always on sale. Like it's all literally always on sale. So it looks kind of like that, but minus the head sculpt. Yeah, we get it. The head sculpt is good. But if you think about it, if you buy integrated suit in the red and blue, and then that too can be the price of an Artisan Iron Spider.
Yeah.
Like if you think about it, because that's always on sale, and let's say you buy the other one. So you have two Spider-Mans of both worlds. And I get it. They want to make money. I don't know if they will, because there's always a Spider-Man out there. And there might be more in a week from now.
There's going to be more. Yeah.
And speaking of 2.0, that I would say is, I don't think we're all going to be mad about, is this one. This is technically a 2.0 of Black Widow. So we have different iterations of Black Widow, but not in this form. So I'm okay with this, but how do you feel about this deal with this Black Widow?
Yeah, this one's coming home. I don't care how the left feels, the right feels about collecting right now. I'm going dead down the center and put it in my RSVP for this one here. This is the best one. Bigger?
Yeah, I definitely agree with Dilo on this one. Is it possible you could maximize it?
Enhance.
Is this
optical? What are you? You're teasing me, bro. Like,
is this on your head sculpt? It is, right?
I think so.
It feels like it is.
Yeah, because
you know what? I've
never had any problems with Natasha's head sculpt, even from Endgame, whatever the case may be.
They've done her justice over the years.
Yeah, this looks extra crispy. Like this looks extra good. I don't know. It's not just the hair. Like you take out the hair and make it sculpted, the face still looks good.
The eyes, dude. They're really getting better with these rolling eye systems. They used to look buggy or very thin or like sunken, or they popped out too much. Like they're starting to nail the eye rolling system here, and it really shows, because it feels like she's staring at us right now, and I'm not mad at that. But she looks pretty darn real with the rooted hair. Again, I think rooted hair it has a time and place for it. I don't think every figure needs it, but I definitely feel like in certain like circumstances, specifically like long hair characters, like a Wonder Woman, like a Scarlet Witch or a Black Widow. Now, I think it really takes them to the next level. The Tom Holland head sculpt, I couldn't care less. I think the sculpted is fantastic. It's perfect. You don't need to mess with it and go rooted that low. But for figures like these, you make these. I mean, these become grills, like the new version of what a grill is today. Just because, like, damn, this is real now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Is there like a close up of the?
Again, can you zoom in?
There you go. Yeah. Oh,
what close up exactly are you looking for, though, PJ?
the eyes. The eyes.
Oh, the eyes. Okay.
Okay. That's part of
that.
that.
Refined figure body and proportion. So,
okay.
Lane just joined the chat. Look at that. Oh, hold on.
I think
Shout out to Lane.
Lane commented on that on the post.
Dude,
yeah,
this looks like a real person.
Yeah,
She's staring at me.
That's good, dude.
Her cheeks even has like those kind of like baby fats or something. You can see the I don't know, like it's not that smooth. You know what I mean? Like there's
Well, they nailed it because I mean she's like 20 something years old in Iron Man 2. So like sometimes Hot Toys they tend to age them up a little bit when they do it. For example, Padme, for example, right? Attack of the Clones. She looks like she looked older, almost like the way she looks in the Thor movie. And they kind of use those two here. This is impressive because they managed to make her look younger and more accurate to the time of the film here, which is insanely good. Like this is the first separated eye rolling system for a Black Widow we've ever seen, and I really think with the rooted hair, with the rooted hair, it's really taking it up a notch here. It's beautiful.
So I think the test with these figures, right? And I don't think like Will Optical said earlier that there isn't any Artisan figures that it has been released yet. Is how will this transport to your home in terms of the hair? Will it stay the same or the way it is right now, or do you have to futz around about it to make it like look perfect? And that is going to be like Hot Toys' test with these Artisan figures, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think they're gonna come in like the container because they already did. It's not Artisan, but Dilo was that the Wonder Woman 100. Is that 100?
Oh yeah,
she's technically our first. That's true.
She's not Artisan, but she came in this little container, kind of like Inart.
Oh, okay.
It's supposedly pre-styled, like my Joker. We all know what happened to that. So it's different people. So you understand that sometimes one is not going to look like the other, but I hope it's not as totally different. But we'll see. Like Hot Toys has been doing it for a long time now. It's a new territory for them. But boy, look, you show this to a non-collector, you remove all the things, she would say this is either AI or it's her, like Scarlett Johansson herself.
Yeah,
it's crazy. With that being said, so this is going to be limited. Is this the only Black Widow you will need, though? Like, do you purchase this and this is going to be unless you're a Black Widow fan, but if you're one of like myself who's just like, I just need a Black Widow to put it on my Avengers, do you think this is the only one they'll make, or would you wait for, let's say, Civil War version? Or should you just jump on it? Let's say it's $500. I mean, I'm not a big Black Widow fan to purchase multiple $500 Black Widows, so I just want one for my Avengers, and then maybe the other ones are sculpted, like Endgame, that could be sculpted. But is there something that you prefer, Dilo, that maybe if they announce it all at the same time, I'll be like, all right, I'll do Civil War instead of this?
Well, I think realistic to assume here, like this is not going to be the only Black Widow they make Artisan. They're going to make it. I mean, we just talked about an imposter Joker last week, right? A concept one using the same exact Artisan head sculpt from the original Artisan announcement. So that tells you Hot Toys already has plans to make multiple of these figures in this line here. So having said that, this is going to be my like Black Widow for representation there, because I do like either a origin, like a first time appearance or a last time appearance. I kind of like I try to stay away from all the stuff in the middle because that's really more like emotionally in the moment. I want to have that version, but really the ones that stand out to me is either the last one or the first one. So this one perfect for me, but I can absolutely see people saying, well, I personally want the Avengers 1 Black Widow, and people would say that might be their definitive one. The shorter hair, the team up. I mean, that's a historic movie in cinema history, right? First big superhero team up we ever had, box office, billions, you name it. So, I mean, everybody's going to be subjectively different for you, but I will say this here. As far as making this limited, this is probably the first smart move Hot Toys has made, because Black Widows historically do not sell well. They don't retain their value. You can usually find them below retail in any market of Hot Toys ever. Mm-hmm. So to make this one limited, this is not going to have a sculpted version. It is solely rooted or bust. I think there's a total like 6,000 in total, 4,000 with the gauntlet, 2,000 without, something like that. So yeah, this is going to be limited. But also just keep in mind, if you miss out on this one here, there's probably going to be another Artisan Black Widow in the future. So for me, yes, I want this one. Sorry to kind of make that a long-winded answer. For me, it's the one I want. It's perfect for me. It's the first version. I'm happy with that. I'm content. This one is 100% coming home for me.
Nice. So PJ, let's say what we talked about earlier about 2.0, and Dilo's absolutely correct. I agree that they didn't make this sculpt this good just to use it once. We know Hot Toys, So if you're a collector, should you be a little bit more careful with this, thinking that, because you're playing a game here, because what if they don't make another one? Let's say this didn't sell as well as they thought it would be, and this is not like, hey, we're gonna sculpt a new hair. Maybe there's no another Artisan Black Widow. Is that a risk you should take? Let's say for example, like Dilo said, I wanted the Avengers version, so I will just hold off on that, because I know if that gets announced, if you can't sell a $150 IG-11, how can you get rid of this all of a sudden if you only want one Black Widow, if this is going to cost you around $500? Yep. So I guess the question, PJ, is that should you take a risk, jump on it now, and maybe you can sell it later, or run the risk of maybe not having another Artisan Black Widow ever?
Well, no, that's impossible. I mean, we know Hot Toys' track record with Black Widows and Iron Man and Spider-Man. Like, they just love making them. Mm-hmm. It just depends on you. Like, it depends on you and what your needs are for your collection right at this minute. If this is something that you need to get right now, and obviously FOMO kicks in, right? Like, then pick it up. Like, you're collecting, you should enjoy your collecting journey. And if this is something that you want now, I say go get it. And then obviously, you take that chance, and if they release another version, which most likely they will, at least you got this one to enjoy while you wait for the new version of the Black Widow. But that's the thing with collecting, though. Like, we just never know. Like, I mean, look at the War Machine. We're like, oh, wow, this is the best War Machine. And then they come out with a reissue of that War Machine again. Like, who would have thought that they would do it again? But that's Hot Toys, right? Like, you just never know with them. It just all depends on, like, the market. And I think they really look at the aftermarket with some of these figures. And if they see something that's going for a really pretty penny, or something that's sold out and probably needs, a new version of that character, they will revisit that character. And, but yeah, I think this is a perfect portrait. I've never seen a portrait this good from Hot Toys in a very long time. I can't even tell you when the last, I think maybe Dooku, Yondu, like this portrait, like is up there with those other portraits that I just mentioned. And I think you'll be happy if you pick this up and risk, having them come out with another version.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna go out on a limb here. Lane just joined the chat. He really did. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's right here. Yeah.
Well, funny how he shows up on the, his timing is perfect.
Yeah.
Let's just say
it's impeccable. Yeah.
Impeccable.
It's a machine.
He's not here when we're talking about Tom Holland, but he's here when we're talking about Black Widow. Yeah.
We talk about like head sculpts where, if you move the eyes to the side, he looks like this one. I don't care which side, it looks like her. Like the backside looks like her, like from the side, from the front, dead on. I said this when I saw the first Artisan Anakin. That might be the best looking figure that I've ever seen. If this comes out like this might be the best figure that I've ever seen.
Agreed.
Like
yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
Like male, female, ever. Like if this came out like this, right? Like this is unbelievable. But
and the thing too is that I'm hoping, which is the first Artisan edition that they did? Is it the Anakin?
I think technically Anakin, right, Dilo? Like
wasn't it Joker, then Anakin.
Joker. Okay, and do you know when Joker is supposed to release? Because I'm telling you, that will dictate the rest of the Artisan line.
Yes, so it's on the list. They put an updated list of future releases, and the Joker is in fact on that one here. So it can happen anytime. But you're right. I agree. I mean, that Joker has so much pressure on it to deliver. Because we're hoping, even if you're not in the market for that Joker, I'm personally rooting for that Joker to be fantastic because I've gotten quite a few Artisans of myself already on pre-order, and I had one convert last week. I got the Scarlet Witch conversion.
Wow.
Yeah. I was on a trip to StatueCon for a Collector Zone. Shout out to the Wolfpack and Collector Zone. But when they picked me up from O'Hare Airport, maybe 20 minutes after we left, I got an email from Sideshow said that it converted. So,
oh wow,
yeah, I've got a lot on the line. I really want this to deliver. I don't have the Joker, but I have that Scarlet Witch, and I need that to deliver because, I'm excited about it.
So here's my question to you, Dilo. Would you now, since you already are looking into the Black Widow, are you looking to maybe upgrade, or even the Iron Spider? I'm not sure if you're looking into that figure, but are you looking to upgrade like your Avengers line and make it all Artisan edition?
That's a very good and expensive idea. It's very hard to say right now in the state of my current pre-order situation if I can answer that one there, because I've gotten like 3 invoices today from Sideshow that stuff is coming in. So if I can detach myself from my bank for a second and just dream goal that up, ideally that would be flipping amazing, right? That would be really a standout there. And on top of that, it would kind of be a nice throwback to how things used to be for us, right? Where things were super limited. I mean, that Scarlet Witch from Civil War fetched $1,000 easily for years. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's nothing special. It's just, a trench coat and some leather pants, right? It's not an amazing figure by any means, but it was so limited and it was so desirable because it was so limited that it shot up the value of it there. And I think what I'm hoping for as a collector is that with this limited amount that they're making, that does restore some value to some of those figures for me. So if I can get those over time to convert to Artisan, even if I'm not crazy about everyone being rooted, like Tom Holland, for example, it's still limited, right? So if I needed to change my display, if I wanted to go in a different direction, I know I'm not worried about a 2.0 of this and then suddenly, it's worth nothing again, and I'm giving it away at my cousin's wedding next week, right? It's nothing like that. So it depends, but I mean, that's a hell of an idea, PJ. Scary one. Yeah. But if I could and money wasn't an option, I probably would do it.
The thing too is if I was still collecting, right, and I was like a big Avengers fan, and and obviously Avengers, when you think about it, that is like you said, the first superhero team up. It's iconic. It set records, and you would want that in your collection because you could look at it and say, wow, that's that's great. But then what happens, or you think about it, now you have all Artisan, including the Hulk, and now you're looking at it and it's perfect. You wouldn't want to upgrade those Avengers at all because they look perfect. If they come out with just how Black Widow comes out, dude, I wouldn't even see you wanting to sell any of those figures at all because it will be a staple of your collection, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you nailed it. And that's the big thing too, because I mean, I myself, I don't focus on one specific IP. I kind of branch out. I do the things that people shouldn't do. I branch out to multiple IPs. And, with all the announcements coming out, there's 6 potential figures from different IPs that I will collect. Right. So that's very expensive. Some people say, well, I only collect Star Wars. Well, they're good. They're safe. They got Grievous. They're going to move on. They've got about $2,000 that they don't have to worry about spending. I, on the other hand, have to. But if I could do something like that, get it to where the figures are limited and they're phenomenal pieces like that there, then I can safely retire that section of the collection and move on to other IPs that I'm still working on, which I don't think Hot Toys will let us do realistically, but
yeah,
it's a wonderful dream. But yeah, I think when it comes to, if you're a collector like myself who collects multiple IPs, I think the move to make is not collect doubles and more specifically replace ones and put another one in. So for example, if I had that Iron Spider-Man in my display, I'd get this one here and sell that one and swap it out and just kind of, do that.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have both. I think both is just not an option at this point to do so. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. I just kind of wish that they stop making regular figures and just go with artisans from here. Because
we're gonna save that for another day.
It's the best.
It's the thing now. Now we don't know it's gonna be the thing 2 years from now. So
it's true.
We're
talking Hot Toys is the next upgrade.
Speaking of regular figures, do you guys consider this as one of the regular figures still? Like, this is another 2.0, Mark 42. But we talked about with Dilo again. I think this is a worthy 2.0. That first 42, outdated, colors are fading, like literally. It's peeling off, wrong proportions. So 2.0, but that was the first Iron Man diecast, by the way, that Mark 42.
That's right.
That's not the first diecast. The first diecast, I believe, is War Machine, the gray War Machine with a red, arc reactor in it. This was $306, if I'm not mistaken, or $305 back in the day, and it felt like the most expensive thing in the world when the first 42 came out. I was like, what? Now they crossed the 300 barrier? Like, how dare these guys? Yeah, things have changed. I don't know how much this is for, but this is going to be a deluxe version. Dilo, do you have the first 42? Do you still have it?
No, actually, I passed on the one because I was considering the quarter scale at the time. I was really,
yes,
I was thinking of skipping that and going to the quarter scale because I thought that was a fantastic piece in itself. But then the problem is it's quarter scale and I don't collect quarter scale, so it kind of weeded itself. So I kind of let it go. But to every point you just made there, Optical, I couldn't. You said it. You nailed it. Like, everything is upgraded on this figure over here. And honestly, I don't even look at this as an Iron Man. Like, honestly, to me, this is a Tony Stark figure, but like the best possible one you can have here, right? I mean, the battle damage, you can see his arm poking out of the metal skeleton there. That's dope. You can see, I mean, the battle damage looks really good. And I've always been picky about battle damage because Hot Toys is notorious for doing battle damage in the front and then completely cleaning the back. Like, nothing happens back there.
Even the legs.
Right, the legs. Yeah. Right, exactly. It's just up to here. That's all your battle damage area is going to be. This is nice. This is nice. And the head sculpt, man, Tony head sculpts are so hit or miss with Hot Toys. Like the Mark 6, that 2.0 scale gantry, that one is terrible, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry if you like that one, but I think that one is terrible. This one feels like age appropriate Robert Downey Jr. for Iron Man 3. This is post Avengers, actually the very first appearance after Avengers for Tony Stark. And I think like this is perfect. This reminds me of the movie posters that they had for Iron Man 3 when it first came out there. Him kind of flanked by a gazillion suits of armor behind him there, kind of giving you the teaser what's going to happen in the movie. And he was all beat up. I think they nailed the look. This, in my opinion, is like, I know it's emotionally speaking right here, but I feel like this is now like the Iron Man to beat. It's insanely unique compared to all the other ones. That's just me.
Oh no, I agree with you 100%. Like, I don't have 42 as well. I've been waiting for this because deep inside, it's coming, even though I've been waiting for maybe 5 years. But deep inside, this is the beauty of Iron Man: is you have other Iron Mans to fill out that gap.
Mhm.
It's
Right.
not like, hey, you don't have a Don Corleone yet. I was like, okay, there's no other Don Corleone, Hot Toys. And then Damn Toys came along. I was like, I gotta get that. With here, I never felt the need to go back and pick up the old one because there's always Iron Man coming out. So I was like, all right, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. And now it came. I don't really know what else could you add to this that would make it better, like for a 3.0, outside of a battery pack inside, and then you charge it, and then it just, you don't need small batteries or USB. But at that point, I don't know if I'm gonna upgrade to do that, but this is one of those guys where this is what I'm talking about earlier. Look, this one is not that great, like the head sculpt on the left, but the one on the right, I think it's pretty strong. You didn't see that with Black Widow. Like Black Widow, she's just strong all over. But man, this I understand people were like, another Iron Man.
Yeah.
But if it's this type of Iron Man, I don't mind. I don't mind at all.
Yeah, this is battle damage Tony Stark to me. I don't even look at this as Iron Man. I generally don't, because I'm not going to put the helmet on. Like, why would you do that for this one? This beautiful skull, battle damage here.
Yeah.
I mean, if you watch the movie, this is how he is for the majority of the movie here. Barely see Iron Man. This is like I understand. There's always going to be fatigue for an Iron Man suit because they make so damn many. I get it, but when you go into the movies themselves and you're not dealing with a neon tech, or you're not doing a repaint or a chromed out version of a suit that you already own, it gathers my attention a lot faster, just because this is a film accurate suit, right? So, putting all the limited editions to the side, putting all the color schemes aside, when you get an original suit from a film, you got to give it a look. Even if you're an Iron Man fan, right? But I mean, if Iron Man's not your jam, this, no matter how good this figure looks and how much we tell you it looks fantastic, it's not going to change your mind.
Right. PJ, I know you haven't been following Iron Man lately, but the older marks, even though it's 2.0, they're sitting Mark 5, Mark 1, to an extent, other in their legacy armor. Not until they put a limited run on it, like Mark 3, that's when it started selling out. Should they do the same thing with this? You think that, hey, it's X limited, or is this strong enough, you think, that I could leave it there and sell as many as I could?
I think the market's changed. I think if you want to have like some of these figures hold their value, I think what Hot Toys should do moving forward to kind of retain their value, and at the same time, make the aftermarket flourish, because like I always talk about, like the ecosystem, right? You always want to have like a good aftermarket, because if you don't, then how are collectors going to use their collection to fund to fund more things, right? And it's hard to collect everything, especially when they're just pumping out all these different characters, all these different 2.0s. I mean, look at Vader, which I'm sure we're going to talk about. Like, they just had the Kenobi, and now they have like a more battle damage version. Like, so it's one of those things that, like, I think if you want it to hold its value, you have to kind of, whatever is pre-ordered, from everywhere, the whole world, is how much you're going to make. Like, just like how they do with the HasLab, right? The minute that the HasLab closes, right, like to fund that project, once it closes, literally the minute after it closes, it goes up, it shoots up in value. And I think that's what they should do for a lot of these Hot Toys figures, right? And people are gonna be like, well, how about they do collectors? Well, guess what? They're gonna make a 3.0. Then those people who make the 3.0 and the people that own the 2.0, maybe the two people that own the 2.0 don't want to get the 3.0. So now you have just a certain amount of 3.0s floating out there, instead of just all these figures like floating around, people selling their collection and no one's buying, and people selling IG-11s for $111 or whatever the case is. I think it should be limited, in my opinion. I know I'll get some flack for that, but at the same time too, I just think it should be something to look into. With that being said, I think this Iron Man looks great. It's definitely an improvement. I mean, obviously, you look at these two figures like side by side. But at the same time, too, is that like now what happens if you're like a Denobi that has all the Mark, like all the Iron Man suits now? Now they're making improvements to each one. What are you going to do with the old ones? Now you're going to start looking into improving them, like buying the newer version of it. Now like how many suits are out there? Like 50? How many? Like a lot, right?
Yeah.
Gazillions. Now you got to start looking into your collection, like what I said about the Artisan edition. Now you got to look and say, if they do this for Mark 42, what about Mark 45? Which, by the way, is besides Mark 46, Mark 45 is one of my favorite Iron Man figures, armors. I don't know if you remember that. It's all like
that's the one with no head sculpt in Age of Ultron with the nice face and all that stuff.
And you know one thing I hated about the armor is that the shoulder pads. Yeah. So now
it looks organic. That armor, like an organic armor, but it's nice.
So imagine if they fix that and they add a portrait of what they're doing with this. Now you start looking into your collection and say, all right, should I just dump all these Iron Man figures? Because I know Hot Toys is going to make 2.0s and improve every single one of these figures. That's the question people should be asking themselves now that we're seeing a trend here with a lot of these new releases. But yeah, no, this looks freaking amazing.
Yeah,
it's a great looking Iron Man figure until the next one shows up, which they will make.
So, Dilo, like you've been following 46, still.
46, please.
46. They actually did 46 again, and it's still sitting on Sideshow, which is crazy. By the way, remember that guy who keeps on saying remake Mark 46?
Yeah, I remember that guy.
Is it an improvement though, or is it the same?
I think it's basically the same.
It's the same. It's a reissue.
Oh, it's a reissue. Okay.
But the funny thing is they reissued it, but they took away the Tony Stark head sculpt that had the black eye in it.
Black eye, yeah.
And I remember that guy because he was like famous for months. Maybe even a year. I don't even know how long it was, but he was going on and on and on. And then when it finally happened, I'll never forget. I saw his comment. I was like, oh, but it's missing the head sculpt. Never mind. So it was just like, damn if you do, damn if you don't, I guess there. But yeah, I'm sorry, Optical. You had a question for me?
No, I was just going to ask, like, the D100 they sell, right? I think it's because of the limited nature of it. Like they literally put a number. They're not going to put a number on here, but let's assume it's like Mark III 2.0, where there's a secret number and then it gets sold out.
Sure.
I don't think that's going to work for, let's say, Blue Beetle or whatever the name is of the blue armor of Iron Man, or Gamma or something, whatever from Iron Man.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but what would be, are they out of legacy armors now that they can 2.0? There's something else that you can think of that they could milk, because they did 1 through 7 outside of 4, which I think 4 still holds, this is diecast still. They did 6, they did 7, they did 1, 2 is on the line. Can you think of something else that they could do and be like, yeah, why not? Like this, like 42. I think 42 was the last thing on my mind. PJ said 45. I don't know if 45 is really in the same level of 42.
I would love that one gets overlooked. I mean, that's that one. What's the comic book that one that's used based off of Extremis or something? I forget what the name of.
Yeah, Extremis.
Extremis, right?
Yeah, and it's 45 it's overlooked because I think the figure wasn't a great, because it had the shoulders. It made it look bulky. Yeah. So I think if they fix that and they give it like a the Tony head sculpt or whatever.
And it's short too. I had it for a little bit. It's short because that was the one I wanted as well too. I love that suit. But
I love that suit, man. That was my first Iron Man figure, and I absolutely love it just because I love red.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a good looking one.
To be fair, that entire line was forgotten. The Age of Ultron line.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah, from Thor to Captain America. Mm-hmm. That entire line, like, it's just.
Can I just share? Can you share this real quick, Optical? Because I mean, just look at this suit, man.
It does look good. Yeah, he's beefy.
This beefy,
looks organic.
It's all red. It's the classic Iron Man look. Yeah, I think they should.
It's a beast.
Oh,
I
it's a
remember
beast.
42 is the same as 43, but they're red and gold. So they can.
I was just gonna
easily
say,
do 43.
Yeah, I was waiting for PJ Fizz. I was gonna say, you know, they're gonna make 43. It's just a repaint of what we're doing right now.
I know.
So,
I just don't. I didn't want to say it just because.
but no. But hey, you know, that's not a terrible thing though, too, because the 43 pairs with the Hulkbuster.
Hulkbuster. So are we looking at Hulkbuster 3.0?
Oh,
You bet your butt we are. You know it's gonna happen.
No. Wait. USB plug-in.
The USB plug-in.
You damn right.
Oh my.
That's right.
God.
It's gonna be even bigger than before. You know what? I'm not mad at that because I want a Hulkbuster, but I didn't want it because that thing is just there to stand.
Yeah.
You know, you can't do much with it there. I want that bad boy articulate for that kind of money. So
and Dilo, back then, I mean, I don't know about you, but I felt like $1,000 was insane to spend.
Still is. We're just crazier. It still is. We're just crazier collectors now.
However, after seeing, you know, like the Inarts and the Jokers, now it feels like Hulkbuster is a damn bargain for that price, because you can see the engineering behind it. You know, it's not hiding behind a rooted hair. You know, you take out those heads, that's just an ordinary figure.
Agreed.
So you pay for the rooted hair. But Hulkbuster, you can take out anything. It's just a piece of engineering marvel, in my opinion. But hey, who knows? Speaking of engineering marvel, PJ, you mentioned this earlier. I'm interested in what you're gonna do with this.
Yeah.
This guy right here.
All right. So
you're the Star Wars guy.
Lock in, PJ.
So here's my thing. So I'm glad that I didn't get the Kenobi version of this, right? I was like, man, when I saw people getting their figure in, I'm like, damn, I should have pre-ordered it. And I was just like, wait a minute, this one, what? It's more battle damage. I don't remember this in the show. Like, is this like a Mythos version? Like, it kind of is. It's like following the statue, right? And I'm like, man, I'm out of Hot Toys. And then I slapped myself a couple times and said, you know what? I'm getting this one.
There you go. There you go. Man up.
Yeah.
It looks freaking phenomenal, man. Like I was just like, the fact that they actually did like different portraits of this and kind of like gave like an idea of how Anakin would look outside of like, you know, without his helmet on is phenomenal. I think, yeah, they nailed it. And man, like the minute this went up, guess what happened, man? People were even acknowledging it. They're like, well, you know the reason why I'm selling this. I was like, all right.
I respect that, though. I respect that.
I respect that. I was cracking up, but man, it's just that like now those figures that I think it was going for $400, right? Those like Hot Toys. I mean, from Kenobi.
It never went up. I think they're just trying to get back. Because it's what's like $380. But if you factor in the shipping and tax, they probably
they were trying to get what. Yeah. So now, how much are they going to sell for now when you got this bad boy in the horizon here? No, this is great. This looks phenomenal. It's obviously it wasn't in any show or any movie, but just the fact that they did it and they used their imagination to make something look so cool. I give Hot Toys props for that.
PJ, I'm ashamed for you. You're the Star Wars guy, and Dingleberry just said this is from the video game Force Unleashed.
Force Unleashed, really?
And you didn't
used
know
to me
that.
too. I didn't know that either.
Somebody said that also on
really?
when I did this video. They said it's in the Force Unleashed. So
I don't remember that.
It's not branded Force Unleashed though.
It should be like VGM, right? But maybe they just took a little bit of liberty. Maybe.
I think so.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not mad. I'm not mad about it though. But,
I'm not complaining either.
Is it VGM? No, it's
not. It's just DX.
Oh no, it's just DX. Yeah, I honestly think it's like just a reimagining of like the Vader fight scene or him being like overly battle damage, which is pretty cool. I think honestly they're using the Mythos Vader statue because look at the cape. It's similar to the Mythos statue that they just released from Sideshow. This is like a work of art. It's it's far away from the Kenobi version that it could just be on its own, right? It doesn't have to be associated with any movie or anything like that. I just think they should do more of these type of like figures, right? Instead of like, doing another Vader or whatever the case is. But yeah, this is definitely coming to my collection.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew I can count on you, man. Dilo, do you have any Vaders at all?
I do. and I have that Kenobi one. So
Ooh,
it's my lucky day.
What is your plan for that?
Well, my
Or
plan
this.
this morning was to skip this. I was like, I don't need this because, I'm also going to get the Return of the Jedi Darth Vader.
That's the one that's about to come up, right? Like
that's about to come out. That one's about to come out. And so I have Empire Strikes Back and I have the Kenobi one. And that was my battle damage, Vader for now. So then when this news hits, I was like, oh, I'm not buying this. I don't need this over here. But the more I look at this, the more I kind of need this. The more I kind of need this one over here. So what I was playing around, I streamed earlier with Jedi Knights Watch. Shout out to him if he's still in here. But we talked a little bit about this here, and I've kind of semi-talked myself into this figure here. So I think what I'm going to do, thankfully, I can turn this into the clean version. Right, the Obi-Wan, because it comes with battle damage and clean. So I can make that one a clean version, have that as like my representation for like Rogue One / like A New Hope, because that falls in line with that time frame. And then I can use this as my ultimate battle damage Vader. Now, you hit it right in the head, PJ. First thing when I saw this one, I immediately thought the same thing. Mythos Vader came to mind, 1,000%. In fact, that cape, I'm not sure if you guys saw this yet. That's a plastic cape. That's not a material at all. Right. And it was done strategically to show the silhouette of Vader's mask in the cape, the way it flows.
Oh.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can kind of make it out like the sharp end there and then kind of leading up. That looks like the visor lens to it there.
Fun.
That's supposed to be his actual helmet in that cape.
Oh, interesting.
Oh,
and it comes with its own cape as well. So So this is supposed to be the visor? Is that what it is?
Yeah, so it's supposed to be Vader's mask, basically. You can kind of see kind of the air portion right here. Okay. And then you can see the eye. Yeah, you can kind of make out the eye of it there too.
Gotcha. Wow, okay. Nice.
Yeah, so it's a sick piece. I need to have this one here. So, and there's two of them here. This is obviously battle damage, but to get this specific look, this is the deluxe one. So they have the standard and the deluxe one. The deluxe one comes with the more battle damage on the face. And then the standard one comes with the Vader mask like fully intact but still weathered and damaged up. But what you're looking at, this is specifically deluxe only. That's how it's the standard one.
That looks sick.
They both look sick, both ways.
And you know what too? Like I was gonna say, even with the portrait, like the completely unmasked portrait, man, they did such a great job of reimagining of how Anakin will look, like Hayden Christensen will look. Battle damage or like with burnt up and scarred up. So wow, like seriously, they did a phenomenal job. Whoever's on that team that worked on this, man, like they really nailed it.
So Dilo, once you get this, how many Vaders would you have then?
That's gonna put me at 4. I think that's it. I tap out of Vader at that point. I can't see another reason.
The
Empire Strikes Back,
and
and then Return of the Jedi when that one comes out. Yeah,
and you know one thing too. This is so unique that even like they can't upgrade. Like how much more can you do with this figure?
Right, exactly.
Right, like this is like the ultimate version, right? Like unless you want like a clean version, then just get a regular Vader figure. But like, what more can you add to this figure?
In fairness, we were saying that about the Kenobi Vader a couple months ago, and then they dropped this on us here. So I mean, I agree with you. I mean, see, that's the thing about like a lot of these announcements. What's got a lot of people upset, not necessarily upset, but obviously kind of like a little annoyed, is that like these new announcements do not let you breathe with the most recent ones here. For people have been slowly trickling in, getting their Kenobi. I think now people finally have theirs at this point. But for the last 60 days, it was like, oh, I finally got my email that it's in stock. So imagine getting this and having not this one, but the Kenobi one only 60 days ago. And then, hey guys, hold my beer. I got another one for you. And you're going to like it even more than the one you just got. I mean, I know we kind of talked about Mando and Chrome Mando and how that it feels like that's more common. I don't think Hot Toys really cares as much as they did before about that. Like it's going to drop. Red and blue suit. Another great example on this list. Red and blue suit. People have been posting that wonderful Tom Holland head sculpt for weeks now, replaced by Iron Spider. Right, just like that. And in my opinion, probably a better suit than the red and blue one. So, yeah, we're being bombarded with these things now.
And the thing too is that Hot Toys really needs, because they're hurting. No one can compete with Hot Toys, right? And the person or the company that will hurt Hot Toys is Hot Toys. And the thing too is that, like, I think, Optical and I had that same issue when we had our deluxe Mando, and we're like, oh yay, gotta enjoy it. And I remember Optical's like, yeah, I just gotta enjoy it. And the next it's like Chrome Mando with a portrait and like better accessories. And you're like, you look at your deluxe Mando and you're like, okay, what should I do with this thing now? It literally is like worth like less than $200 at that point.
And just the timing too, PJ, because and Dilo said people are just getting theirs, and then this one drops.
Yes.
At least with a Chrome Mando, we were anticipating that. Not 60 days after we got the Mando, but since season 3 or 2 was already out, we were just like, oh, we're gonna have a new Mando with a head sculpt on it. But I wasn't expecting that to be dropped, because they didn't give us time to sell our Mando. That's the problem. They didn't give us
even
time
enjoy
to
it though.
Yeah, give us kind of like with Avengers back then. When the next Avengers coming out, so you can sell your old Captain America.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was like, all right, the Avengers just came out. Maybe a year or two from now, I know there's going to be a new Cap. It's not a secret. But this came out of nowhere. Like there was no hint about this. And the problem too with the Kenobi, it's still a good figure on its own. But let's be honest here, people bought that because of the head sculpt, because it's so unique. That's the only differential between that Kenobi and the new Vader that's going to come out. Guess what you could do when you buy this and the new Kenobi? You can just get a head sculpt and put it on the head, and now you have a Kenobi head. Now you have a Kenobi Vader. This is a perfect combination between this, because you can't replicate this kind of battle damage. This is one of a kind. The Kenobi Vader, you can replicate that easy. If you buy this, and if you have a different Vader, then you have a Kenobi Vader. Easy. The perfect combo would be this and the new, was that Return of the Jedi? Is it Return of the Jedi? The one's about to come out?
Yeah, Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, because that one has I think the unmasked head sculpt as well.
It does, yep.
Yeah. So that makes it, again, people are going to buy that because there's elements of these Vaders that they're not giving us all at once. Like that has the empty head sculpt, the unmask, and then the head sculpt was showing some I don't know, like the blue head sculpt, which no one cares about. But this, you can't replicate this. This is just, and you don't need to be canon. It just looks good. It just looks cool. That's it.
It just looks it just looks cool. You're absolutely right. And like I said, it can hold its own. I don't know if they're going to release another version of this or upgrade. That's going to be hard to, like, what else can they upgrade, right? Literally, what else can they upgrade? I know someone said chromed. I mean, really? Chromed. That's going to be.
Look at this image right here. This is cool.
You know what they'll make? I'll tell you, PJ, right now. This is what they'll make, and I would 100% buy it if they did. They did lightsaber Darth Vader. The concepts, you ever seen those?
Yeah. I would definitely buy that.
I would buy that. I would buy that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, but this looks good. Like I said, I don't think I can't see them making an upgrade to this one.
It's a masterpiece. Honestly, this is going to be a piece that, even from artistic level, I don't think Hot Toys would. Number one, they can't reissue it, right? Because this is supposed to be a limited piece here, right? So you have to. They're kind of, thankfully, they're painting themselves in a corner because they can't reissue this one here, right? Mm-hmm. So they're gonna have to do upgrades, and artistically, like you said, I don't know what you can upgrade to warrant releasing it and then pissing off 4,000 or 5,000 people who bought this version of it here. So this, for safety wise, is probably the safest Vader you can probably get on market right now.
Yeah. And you know what, with me, Dilo, that's one of the main reasons why I started jumping out of Hot Toys, just because I was going down this big rabbit hole of like, okay, like I started off like with you, like just like you. Oh, I'm gonna collect all these different IPs. Like, it's cool. Then I noticed that it was really hard to maintain that. And then I was like, all right, I'm just gonna collect Star Wars. And I'm like, when I did that, I was like, wait a minute, there's Bad Batch, there's Clone Wars, there's clone figures, there's a whole like universe of Star Wars things that you could collect. And I'm like, well, I can't collect Star Wars. I'm like, now I'm just picking and choosing like something that's unique like this, or something that I know that I really need, like the Grievous. Like I think that is something I need in my collection. Those are the figures. Like I'm just kind of nitpicking and choosing which ones I want in my collection. But yeah.
Yeah, I normally don't dabble in concept arts because I feel like if I'm spending 400 or 500, I want it to be the best, the most accurate
Sure.
representation of whatever
Yeah.
that I'm getting. That's why when the Joker came out, like the what do you call that? The imposter Joker. I'll be like, dude, you've done this before. Because people were just like, no, it's you want them something new. I was like, no, they literally have done this in Suicide Squad. It didn't sell when Batfleck became Joker. Like they used the Batfleck mask and then they put the Joker smiley face on it. It didn't sell. I went to the Philippines, it's like $95. They don't want to buy it. And now you're doing it with an Artisan Joker. You limit to 3,000, and then you took their head sculpt and put it on a Batman figure. It's like, but when the artistic approach is something like this, which is you could kind of fool yourself that this became canon, like, or you can use this at the Kenobi one. Maybe this is
Right.
what supposed to Kenobi looks like. And then you can get elements of this, and I hope you could. Of course, we don't know the connections yet, but they could have do a fast one on us where it's like magnets and not a different type of ball joint in the head sculpt. But you literally can take the head sculpt and put it on your regular Vader, and
Yeah.
you can mix and match whatever you want.
And, yeah, those are minor improvements, and I wouldn't that wouldn't make me want to upgrade it, right? Like if there's magnets and stuff, like, oh my god, whatever. It's like, because most of us are we're gonna have the figure, we're gonna play around with it for a little bit, find the pose that we want, put it on our shelf, and leave it there for a long time.
Yeah,
that's usually the case, at least for me.
Because even the cape, right? Like Dilo said, it's plastic. You can probably just take it and. I'm guessing Dilo, it's kind of like a statue. You just have it stand up, prop up, or something.
I would assume it would be that way.
Yeah, and then use it to a regular Vader. It still looks badass. You don't need to be battle damage Vader. I mean, you got the silhouette of his mask, and
yeah.
What else could you ask for from that? But yeah, I like. Did they have a price yet for this? Or let's see.
Not official. What was the HKD on that one there?
PJ, how much are you willing to pay for this guy?
Hoping it's around the same, same price as the Vader from Kenobi.
2780.
2780. All right.
So that's like 380. So this is going to be more, right? Like,
son of a.
We're looking at 430, 440 here. Out the door.
It's 350. So I would say 500, 400,
400,
420, 420. Whew, man, times are.
And just like that, the conversation got real.
All right.
Well, it could be worse. You could be paying $1,000 to get this from Inart.
What a segue! What a pro!
This is $1,000.
No, from Inart, because it kind of hid behind a paywall. So if you initially Inart, if you want to get this, you need to get Arthur Fleck as well. So now you're going to pay $1,200 for both. Apparently this is cheaper, like 1930. Well, not this is the Artisan. I think the regular version is like 1930 HKD, and I'm assuming this is like maybe same price as Vader since it's Artisan. So maybe
a little bit, 2980 what I can see here.
So around, like, what's that deal, like 450 maybe?
I'd say so. Probably by stateside, that's like a $500 figure easily.
Oh my gosh,
about half, so half the price.
Yeah. But man, damn.
You like Joker, PJ?
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is like, how many people? Like, there's so many iterations of this character. There's the Iron Studios. There's Prime One, which, by the way, I think Will sold it for like he lost a lot of money on it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's Queen Studios. Now there's Inart. Now there's. I mean, do we really want this depressed Joker? Like, this is like insane. And people are forgetting there's Joker, the sequel coming out. Like, are we going to get more of those? It's like, why? Why are we keep going back to this character? I don't want it. I mean, is there people? I mean, good for you if you want it, but I mean, this is a cool background, by the way. That's cool.
Yeah, it is very nice.
I have to give them that. I didn't see that one.
Lights up and this.
Yeah, that. All right, I give them that. That's something unique. But I mean, I don't know, man. I just feel like we're just.
What's a good price for this, PJ? You think?
150.
That's less than SW Toys Joker.
Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. So wait, what's the Like, what's the accessories? You get the backdrop.
Yeah, I think you get the
Mhm.
backdrop.
You get the chair.
They get the
Yeah.
chair. And then
Ooh,
two
does it come with
portraits or
any? He comes with his pistol.
okay. I say max. Like I
And then
said,
the hands are, I'm assuming they're magnetic now. The
they're
forearms.
magnetic too.
Yeah, because
Okay.
they don't have wrist joints anymore. So
Yeah. 450, 500. I wouldn't pay that much for this. I'm not a
yeah.
big Joker fan. I mean, I love the movie. I
Mhm.
enjoyed it, but it was very depressing. Uh, you know, but yeah, I wouldn't
So,
just and plus you have to look at all the other like collectibles that like Prime One, like they made this character and people like that bought it can't even get rid of it.
damn.
And
It's
that
on
was a good
sale at Big Bad. It's like $800.
800. How much
That's I
was
think
it?
it's 414 or 1300.
14.
Statue. It's
Yeah.
1/3. It's 1/3.
Yeah, it's
pretty big.
1/3. Yeah, it's so if you can't, I mean, that was a good looking statue too. So
Yeah.
can you imagine picking this up? Like, can you really sell it? And then the second the second movie's coming out. Like, yeah, I would just say save your money. I mean, it's a great looking figure, and I love the backdrop and I love the accessories. But honestly, just wait for the new movie to be released and see like maybe you like that version of this Joker in that movie. Or unless you're a Joker fan. I
Well,
don't know.
D'Lo's a DC guy, right?
I
D'Lo?
am.
Is
Big
this
time.
something? Did you pre-order the Inart one?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm kind of in the same boat as PJ. Like, I don't like this Joker.
Mhm.
Honestly, he's Joker in name, but from the movie, great movie.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I don't feel like it was a Joker
Right.
movie, if I'm being honest. I mean, it's
It could be a
let's do-
serial killer, and you remove the title
Yeah.
Joker, and it's still a good movie.
exactly. If
Yeah.
if he didn't dye his hair green and have like clown makeup on, this is Taxi Driver. This is De Niro. It's not Joker. So for me, like, enjoyed it. Never bothered to watch it a second time. Never felt an urge to like go out there and find another version to look like the Joaquin Phoenix one. It doesn't do it for me as a fan. Like, I would pick up a Leto version over this, as
Wow.
controversial as that sounds,
Right.
because everybody knows Leto sucked, but at least he was playing the Joker. Right? But yeah, this one here, I mean, I don't do statues like you guys do, right? I don't know much about that there, but I can tell you right now, if collectors are having a hard time letting those statues go, and God knows for how much they paid for those things and how much you can get it for a big bag toy store now, that just goes to show you that collectors don't have a connection to this Joker as much as collectors want you to believe that they do, right?
Mhm.
I think in the moment of when it came out, it was fresh, it was edgy, and it was a good movie, and people were excited about it there. But for true like DC fans, this is not a Joker. This is this is a guy wearing has green hair and makeup. So it doesn't surprise me now. Like retro, like what is that movie now? 4 years old, 3-4 years old now, something like that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Sorry, Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry, sir. Leto. I would pick Leto over this one here. I know. Please don't burn me for that there. Just
Yeah.
I have two Letos, so I have them. So.
I mean, I would want a Nicholson. A Nicholson
like
Joker.
Nightmare Leto Joker is pretty cool. Like the director's cut, that's cool.
Yeah,
I think
that's cool too. I'll pick that one over this version.
I'd pick that over this.
It's just too. It's just I don't know. That movie's very depressing. It is. Like it doesn't. It's a great movie first watch. I won't give it a second watch because I don't want to be depressed. But at the same time too, it's like, man, it's like a beating a dead horse. It's beyond dead. Like, how many more figures are we gonna make out from this character? There's Iron Studios 1/10 scale, quarter scale. There's like him like doing like laughing or going down the stairs. There's so many different like poses of him. Like, I think it's like enough is enough. Stop making this character.
Well, I think the big thing here is that, like, the question I asked myself, why didn't Hot Toys do it when it first came out? Like,
exactly.
So many years, and the only answer that I can arrive to is because Inart did it.
Yes.
That's it. That's the only reason why this exists. There's the only reason why this exists.
Hot Toys is flexing with this figure, which I think this is, if I had to pick out of the two, this one's a better version, in my opinion, just because like the portrait looks great and I love the backdrop. It's something different. But at the same time too, it's just like, my gosh, like enough, enough of this character.
Dilo, so I think you have something there. Like, there's a reason why Hot Toys did this for 4 years.
They knew this wouldn't sell. Like
Right.
they had this wasn't going to sell, but they're doing this to be like a middle finger to those guys.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, like this is good, like juicy, like battle going on right now between these two companies, because every figure, with the exception of Lord of the Rings, that they have not made. But everything else, Joker, Pennywise, the Batman, now this here, they've made everything that they've made. But we were told information by the good folks at Inart that there was a reason why we had to buy the particular bundles that they offered, and we were told this is per orders of Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Now, I need to still do my Google Translate and see what this is in US, but I can tell you this isn't going to be $1,000 figure. So I don't know if you guys want to talk about this now or still talk more about the Joker itself, but
no, let's go.
I'm curious, how did we arrive to under $1,000 par for a Joaquin Phoenix Joker when we were all told just a few months ago we had to get it a specific package because that is what Warner Brothers told us we had to do for you. So where do we rely on this one? Do we think it's Hot Toys has a better rep who negotiated a better deal for them than Inart did, or is Inart kind of talking out both sides of their mouth on this one here?
Ooh. Yeah, so here's the thing too, is that I know Hot Toys has the DC license, right, to sell here in the States. I don't think Inart does, right? They don't. They have like an Asian market license.
Yeah,
correct.
So regardless, as US collectors, we're gonna lose out because we would have to pay extra just to get that figure in the States, as opposed to Hot Toys. They have Sideshow as their distributor. It's going to be cheaper. I'm sure there is like wholesale prices that Sideshow gets so that they could sell it to us for cheaper. There's a lot of factors in. It's just, again, I mean, Inart, I wish they would stop battling with the king of 1/6. I'm sorry, I have to call them they are the king, right? I think they should just kind of like understand that and know they're know where they need to be, and that is making figures and characters that Hot Toys doesn't have the license for. I think they did a good job with Dune. I think they should explore more options like that, rather than, because who loses out? The collectors. The collectors do. Now, like, say you pre-ordered the Inart one from from a website, and then you're like, oh man, this one looks so much better. Now, what are you going to do? Now you're going to cancel your pre-order with that one, lose NRD, and then just to pre-order that one, then you're, the collector's losing a lot of money just to get the Joker that they want. It's just
that's what kind of sucks, PJ, because he was just Kiko made a video, and he was upset about it because he kind of felt like they were lied to, because anyone who likes this Joker, the moment you see the pre-order, it kind of goes back to the 3-day window for the Joker.
Yep.
Right, like it used to be.
I was victim of that when that happened. I remember that very well.
Right, like, and then it opened up again. So the level of, because they are not just selling the quality of the figure, they're selling also, back then at least, the limited availability of it. So you felt special. So this is not the first time that this is happening, right? Like there's a 3-day window, and then all of a sudden, and then there's a lot of things behind that as well. Now, in this case, whether it's 1,000 or not, it's supposed to be. If I pre-order this, and I was forced to buy that Arthur Fleck, I'll be pretty upset and be like, like you said, I was like, this is a depressed Joker, and I got a man who just looks depressed as well. I just want the red, kind of like red suit Joker. Again, that is not the first time that something hid behind a paywall. Remember that purple coat Joker as well from with rooted hair. You can't buy a single purple coat. You need to buy 2-pack.
Yep.
So this is not an isolated incident here. But like Kiko was upset because he bought the 4-pack. So that's what, like $2,200. Even if he cancels it, and let's say the NRD is 10% or 20%, whatever, it's still more. The NRD is more expensive than the actual Hot Toys Joker. So now you've been put in a FOMO state where now you just have to go through it, and that's, I can understand if somebody is upset about that. But with that being said, Dilo is, remember back then it was like, I'll wait for the Inart version. Kind of like, oh, you got Batman, you got DX19, I'll wait for the Inart version. Is it reversed now, where if they announce something, he'll be like, I'll wait for the Hot Toys version?
Absolutely, because with competition brings innovation, right?
Yeah, I agree.
That's the whole point of why Inart has become somewhat of an indie darling in the kind of the 1/6 community here, because at the time when they came, let's not forget, Hot Toys was very complacent. They were doing overproduced IG-11s, right? They were doing all sorts of like wacky things where they were just doing repaints or just reissues, not even true 2.0s, and just kind of resting on their laurels. So, they upset a lot of collectors at that time. And I remember very well at that time, there was like a lot of collectors who jumped ship, sold all their figures, and went into statues, right? A ton of people left the hobby for that there. Now, with Inart initially coming in as the savior, if you will, these are limited, these are premium figures and all that stuff like that. These are, you can only have them by a certain time. Mm-hmm. That felt like old Hot Toys to a lot of people. And a lot of people jumped on that bandwagon because they were burned by Hot Toys one too many times, which is understandable. But then I feel like the wheels now are kind of coming off the wagon now, right? The promises feel more hollow. Things that are told to us here turn out to not be what they are later on. It feels very dirty, for lack of better words. It feels very dirty because in a way, Hot Toys just exposed Inart in a way where now, like, shoes in your court now. How are you going to respond? Because in my opinion, the Inart Joker with the face paint still looks better than this Hot Toys one we're talking about now. And this is early. This can be early proto. They can fix it and all that good stuff. But if I had to take a guess which one is better, I'd say the Inart still looks better. But this one doesn't have the paywall that you're putting the other one on. And with so many things coming out, so many figures going up in price, we're going from $200 figures like pre-COVID to now we're averaging at, $300, $400 a figure now. Collectors are going to be a little bit more picky with which figure they're going to pick, especially if two companies are making the same figure at the same time. Right. So naturally, the question is now, does Inart stick with what they told us here? It's going to be a 2-pack, and that's what Warner Brothers told them. Or if Hot Toys is able to do this, are you going to be willing to give customers the chance to buy that figure without having to buy the second figure and matching or close to the same prices of Hot Toys? Hot Toys pulled a Uno reverse card like I've never seen in this hobby there, where they were beating in the corner. There was fanboyism everywhere. People counted out Hot Toys. And in the last 8 to 9 months has drastically turned things around with the introduction of Artisan 2.0s that feel warranted now, limited releases. Yeah. All of that in an 8-month span has made Inart really put them on the ropes now. In fact, did you guys know today, and all the interesting stuff that dropped today, did you guys know that Inart officially announced Michael Jackson today? Does anybody knew that? Did anybody know that today?
I did. Oh, yeah. Well, no, but
I knew exactly. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Well, I saw the Michael Jackson, like I know they teased it in their
right
IG.
But Inart tried to pull a Hot Toys today, and what the 6 figures that were announced today that everybody's going excited about, they dropped news about the Michael Jackson, like officially being announced with photos and all. No one cared. 0 people cared. In fact, I saw people on their official Facebook page putting like laughing emojis and making jokes about their QC issues. I mean, it's just like, this was not the Inart I know 9 months ago.
When Joker,
they could do nothing wrong, when nothing could be done wrong. But now I think collectors are starting to see some of the cracks in the chinks in the armor there, and they're picking at that, and they're saying, wait, hold on, let me ask more questions now, because before it was blind loyalty. Now, I don't know. $1,000 2-pack compared to what we're seeing today. What's real, what's not. It's interesting. I'm here for the drama.
It's kind of hard too, right? Like with that Michael Jackson, right? PJ, like you guys remember Hot Toys did Michael Jackson multiple times in the past.
Yeah, they did.
So for you PJ, I know you don't collect anymore. You see Joker, and would this teach collectors now to kind of pause? Because if that's our first instinct, Hot Toys haven't done it, I'm gonna go ahead and pre-order because Inart is limited time window. If I miss it, I'm gonna be screwed. Would collectors pause for a moment here? Gonna be like, what if I got Joker, 2 Jokers, really, like the purple, the Ledger Joker. Imagine buying that for $1,200, and then Hot Toys coming up with their own for $400, and then they did it again with another Joker that you could have saved money on a Joker. If you like Michael Jackson, do you think it's safe to pause or risk not? What if Hot Toys doesn't do Michael Jackson? Then you're screwed. You know?
Yeah, I think with the Doom, like, you know, certain licenses, I look at the licenses, right? Like when it comes to, like, if I know 2 companies are kind of battling you know, against each other in the 1/6 scale community, you know, realm. Like for me, like with the Jokers, like I know Hot Toys has, like, you know, with the Robert Pattinson Batman, right? Like I knew, okay, Inart's doing it, but then I know Hot Toys is going to be doing it. Just at the end of the day, who do you want to go with in terms of company? Because they're both going to come out with good products, right? Or you know, the best they can. It's just that, like, what works best for you and who do you want to go with? But the thing to me is, like I said before, Inart's a good company. I mean, look at the Dune figure. I think that looks great. I mean, even this Joker, like what Dilo said, their 4-pack or how many packs they have, they all, like, the Arthur Fleck looks great, you know. They all look great. It's just that, like, at the end of the day, like, who do you want? I mean, like I said, like, I wish they would just do other characters. There's so many other things that they could do. Why pick the same thing that the Hot Toys is gonna do? You know, that's just my thinking.
Dilo, so we've seen Hot Toys response when Inart came to the picture. They did all of their characters mostly have rolling eyeball system now. That used to be, you know, reserved to DX. Now everyone has SIRS. They're put up more Artisan figures. They put up more in that. They worked on their hands. I know you have Black Adam, and you know, the hands on that Black Adam is next. You know, it's like poor toys. You know, I don't know if you follow them on Instagram, but those hands are a different level. They changed their lights, so they, in a sense, they answered, not necessarily in a quality standpoint, because I think some figures still looks better, although my Joker doesn't say that. But there's different levels to this. It's not just what you see and what you hold, right? Like one thing that Hot Toys will always have is Sideshow. That if something's wrong with your $2,400 figure, you'll get a replacement head sculpt right away.
Absolutely.
You don't need to ask twice. See what happened to my Joker? Nothing. But so with this, if you're Inart, how would you respond to this? Because now it looks like Hot Toys is going to your, I would say, chink in your armor, which is you don't have to go behind a paywall. If you're Inart, I kind of get it from a business standpoint, because they want to sell more and they just want to ship all at once. They're used to shipping statues, so they're like, let's ship a big one, get more money, so we only have to sell less. But what if Hot Toys is undercutting you like this? It's like, well, nope, you don't need 1,000. So how do you respond if you're Inart, though?
Well, the big thing is that we need clarification of if what you said is true or not. I mean, that's the biggest one, because, you know, that chink of armor that I mentioned, it's not what Inart is. It's the collectors that protect them, that, you know, justify a lot of what they do. Sometimes where it seems like it's a little suspicious, but, you know, they'll say, oh, but they're using this. This is a new body. This, I mean, people will constantly come up with reasons to protect Inart when Inart is not doing their best work, right? But this one is where I'm curious to where the Inart fans have to feel about this here, because again, we're talking about your wallet, right? And that completely subverts anything else that you may feel about Inart as a company. If you're a fan, Because as a fan, if I'm defending you and this is what you're saying I have to do, but then Hot Toys, another company that I hate because, they did me so wrong. Well, hold on. Now you're telling me that I don't have to get your figure because I can get the figure I wanted originally without having to get this art deflect or without having to get this third one here. So, I mean, major bad publicity moment right now going on for Inart. And they have to respond swiftly. Ideally, I'd like them to say, hey, listen, we went back to the table with Warner Brothers and we renegotiated our licensing deal with them. So now we can offer you that figure without that. That would be ideal, right? But something tells me that's not what's going to happen. Something tells me it's going to be more of like, well, we're using this and we're using premium data. And therefore with this and the resource we have to do it this way. But that's still somewhat admitting that you lied to us about it there. If you just said, hey, in order for us to be profitable, because we're a small company, we have to sell it this way.
Right.
And I think collectors will be more understanding. Yeah. But if you don't come out and respond and say, you can have it without the paywall, you don't have to get the art deflect, I think it's a fail. And I think at that point, you're going to start seeing collectors kind of abandon ship more, not because of the quality, because they make a phenomenal product, but just the ethics of the company itself. What makes them any different from how you felt about Hot Toys? They were supposed to be the good guys. Now they're almost no different than what you felt when you were a Hot Toys. So it's interesting. It's interesting how this is all going to play out there. So, I mean, to be determined. So we'll see. I'm going to be curious to see if people eventually cancel their pre-orders and get this instead. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah. The thing too is that because how much is this figure you think it's going to be?
I would say 480, maybe
480.
Yeah, 480.
I go 550. I go 550 because you got a diorama set in there too.
That is true.
Yeah. Okay. How about the 2-pack from Inart? How many?
1200.
It's like, all right, 1200, right? So it's close to how much it being close to relatively close, right?
Yeah. The difference though, PJ, though, is that 550 includes Sideshow, for example, right? And in my experience, that's a big thing because if I had Sideshow, I would have returned my Joker. It's cool until it happens to you. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have problems with him until it happens to you. And be like,
exactly.
Where am I going to return this? He was like, okay, I emailed Inart, didn't respond. But that 550, because I don't like this comparison when you add the tax in the shipping from Sideshow, and then they'll be like, well, with Inart, it doesn't. But yeah, it also doesn't have the protection that Sideshow provides to you. So yes, it's more expensive. But it's kind of like buying a house. Are you not going to buy the bigger the house, the bigger the insurance is for the house?
Yeah.
So kind of like this. The more expensive the figure is, you might want to buy it from a dealer that's kind of reputable. So if something goes wrong, you're fine. If nothing goes wrong, that's cool. But until it happens to you, that's my thing. But I'm sorry to cut you off.
Well, I was gonna say so is there? Like, I know they did the Aragon, and I know their Gandalf is probably one of their most wanted figures, right? And same with the Robert Pattinson Batman, right? But there hasn't been any issues that you know of, right? I'm just asking because I don't.
Oh no, Batman, there is. Somebody when I did that video, I got a lot of messages like their Pennywise, their base is broken. Batman, the hair, especially for Bruce Wayne, is weirdly styled, things like that nature. There's a few.
Yeah. But have they? Do you know if they gotten it fixed or?
The same time as me, like around 3 weeks, because he's just received this Batman. He hasn't received any response yet. So,
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's hard now because you want obviously if Inart wasn't around, we wouldn't get those Artisan editions, right?
Agreed. Yeah.
And that's what's kind of pushing Hot Toys is realizing, okay, wait, there really is some sort of competition. There's not I don't know, a Star Ace that's that you look at and you're like, all right, we're okay, guys.
Yeah,
we're okay. But Inart's kind of their Iconic is there too, right? Because they make some horror figures, but they're not making a big huge splash I think the
Yeah.
only reason why Inart's making a big splash is they're going after the same licenses as Hot Toys. So I think that's why now we're getting like a back and forth. I mean, we shall see. It's still early in the game with like the battles and stuff. Like I said, like I wish, like I like the Dune 2 figures that they're doing,
Right.
or the Dune
Yeah.
figures. There's something different. Michael Jackson's something different. I hope they kind of go in that realm. I know they did the Harry Potter stuff. I don't know how that's doing. But it's just hard. Like when people go for the same characters, it's just tough, you know?
Yeah.
You know, at that point, it's just like Samsung and iPhone. Like I think at that point, whichever is your preference.
We'll see how they respond, not only to this, because this is just another thing that is happening again. You know, like I said, it started all the way back to the 3-day window that magically opened up, not just one retailer.
Yep.
You know, like with everything. The biggest, because when they walked in, they were welcomed even by Hot Toys collectors. There are still Hot Toys fanboys that are defending Hot Toys, and you're always find that on both sides.
Yeah,
they have more, though, I would say, more defenders in their side. That it always comes back to, but they make good figures, even though you got kind of bamboozled with a 3-day win, but they make good figures. They said, but they do make good figures. That's the only basis upon this. And in reality, that Batman, although it might be better than Hot Toys, maybe 20% better.
That's being generous. I don't know about that.
Right. Like I don't know. Right. Like it's not like maybe he is better, but it's not like he made Hot Toys look like Mezco.
Yeah.
You know, like you know what I mean? Like maybe you're better, and you're supposed to be better because you're more expensive. You're harder to get. There's a lot of risk getting you. You know, you're getting out of your way to get you.
Yeah.
If those, I would say, defenders of them would open up, maybe they'll clean up some of the deficiencies that they have outside of the good figures, because we can all agree they make good figures, and clean up all the other things that they do. Maybe they'll get better, you know, kind of like what Hot Toys did. Now they stepped up. Now the ball is in their court, like you said, Dilo, and you know, let's see how they respond, or maybe they'll just.
Yeah, it's just like it goes back to a lot of like companies when they go, you know, when we have competition, right? Because then, you know, the collectors and the consumers benefit from that. Just because now they're innovating, they know that they got to one up the other company. That's why, like I said before, we get Artisan editions, you get USB powered, like, you know, lightsabers and light up features and things like that, because if they don't start innovating, then someone else is going to catch up. It's just like the iPhone and Samsung. iPhone, I know someone was like, oh, who made Hot Toys the king? They were the king. They are still the king. I mean, I don't think there's an argument to that. They are the king. And obviously you got someone on their tails trying to dethrone them. That's obvious. That's like iPhone. They're the first one that came out with the smartphone. They're the king. Now you had Samsung come in and trying to like innovate and do better things than they do. But at the end of the day, it comes down to that. So
I feel, PJ, that if they respond, the way we win is either they get rid of the paywall, which they don't do a lot, honestly. They only do it twice, but at the same time, they've only released figures 6 times. So doing it twice, it's a lot. Kind of like the guy emailed me, you know, like, just because it happened to you once. It was just like, dude, at that point they only released 4 figures. So if it happened to me once, and that is out of 4 figures, that's 25%. That's pretty high rate of failure.
Agreed.
Yeah. When you tell me if I ride a plane and there's 25% chance that I'm gonna die, I will not ride a plane. You know, it's just like
Hey, if I can take a second here, there's a comment in here that I actually like here from TK592. And this says here that people are looking at their Inart Phoenix pre-order while Hot Toys is dropping straight fire today. But he goes on to mention that people had plans, and I completely forgot about this here. People had plans in place to sell one of the figures off so they can, you know, just get the one figure that they need behind this paywall over here. So now that I completely forgot about, you know, everybody had like a handshake agreement that people were one was going to buy the Art Reflect, the other one was going to get that. Well, the guy who was agreeing to get, I mean, he's got an option now. He doesn't need to invest double the price to get the one figure he wants and then hope that you lived up to your end of the bargain here. So there's a big domino effect of this news here today. It just feels maybe small to some people, maybe it needs to settle in, but when the dust settles after today, and then people start asking the hard questions of like, hey, what's going to happen with this Inart 2-pack and 3-pack and stuff like that there? Because now there's an option out there that it may not be as good as the Inart one. I'll be honest. Like I said earlier when we started talking, I think the Inart one still looks better right now. But in fairness, they've been working on that figure probably longer than Hot Toys has been working on this one. And I'm sure if people make their voice known and they say this is inaccurate, I'm sure Hot Toys will go back and fix it up there. They did it recently with Mantis for no reason. No one asked, but they updated Mantis recently from Guardians of the Galaxy. So there's always that possibility that they would do this because they know there's a direct competitor to this. And matter of fact, now that I mention it, they did that with the Batman before they released theirs. They updated that one right before, Inart did theirs. So, I mean, this is going to be interesting. This isn't going to be something we're going to be able to solve tonight talking about it there. But as far as like the repercussions of this announcement, like this is going to be something we're going to be talking about for the rest of the year. Yeah. Because now any future announcement of a figure that Inart is making and Hot Toys is potentially going to make too, now people are going to question if what Inart is telling them is true or what they want us to believe is true. Because proof is in the pudding. This is not going to be $1,000 figure, folks, and yet it's all by itself. Why do we need it too with Inart? Someone needs to answer that question from Inart.
Right.
I think they're going to be in San Diego Comic-Con, so I'm sure that question is going to be asked there. I'm not sure if they're having a booth there. I'm not even sure, but I know they're going to be there. So I'm curious to see if anyone asks that question. But like this is early in the fight, right? Like in any type of fight, we'll see like how things play out, how these companies respond to each other. It's funny because now I'm like just eating my popcorn and seeing the battle unfold here. But again, we shall see. They said another hotel party, not officially part of San Diego Comic-Con. But yeah, I'm sure. But whoever's going to that hotel party, I'm sure someone's going to ask about like the some of these questions.
I'm pretty sure whoever's going to ask that is a part of the influencers batch.
So. I'd want answers. If I was in that circle of trust, I want some answers because you're making me look bad right now.
Yeah.
In association to you. So yeah.
Selfishly though, as a collector, I want them to respond because the domino effect on this is that anytime that they release or announce something Inart wise is that I hope that people would stop in things like, what if Hot Toys does theirs? And if you're Inart, I hope what the response is, how can I erase that? Maybe I'll lower my price. So even if Hot Toys announces theirs, you'd stick with us. Because always you're looking back. I was like, man, I should have just bought the Hot Toys. I could have saved 500. I could have I could have saved 600. I could have saved 300, for example. But if they kind of lower that, then maybe there's no buyer's remorse. Like not everyone has buyer's remorse, but that's the argument against them. Sure. But I'm hoping that their response is kind of like, all right, it's either they lower the price a little bit here or they work something out so that even if Hot Toys announces theirs, you'll be like, well, you're fine. We're just $50 more, or $70 more.
But it's one of those things like, welcome to 1/6 collecting.
Right.
2.0, 3.0. I mean, there's so many things that could happen. Like it's just like there's so many things could like just like with like look at the Xbox and PS5s. Look at the phones. Like every year there's a new upgrade to a phone. What do you do with your old one? You're like, oh well, damn, look at this fold. They just came out with a new one. Oh, look at this Note 20. I got the Note 19. There's always going to be improvement. I think at the end of the day, it's just you got to be happy with what you buy.
But isn't that's the one that sucked, PJ? Because we are used to that with Hot Toys. We're used to upgrading our Black Widow every movie. But it's easier to upgrade a $230 figure compared to a $1,200 2-pack. That hurts.
That's what I used to say.
They're gonna bury me with that figure.
That's what I used to say about the phones when they were like $400 or $500. Now they're like $1,200 for just a Samsung phone or even an iPhone. It's gonna come. I mean, I know they're getting expensive, but this is an expensive hobby. I think we just can't be like Dr. Strange and be like, okay, what if You know, I'm like, I was like that, and that's why I took myself out of the game. Like, I'll just go with the flow, and if I see something that's really, really interesting, I'll pick it up. But like before, I was like, you know, I'll be like, well, what happens if they upgrade this? What happens if, you know, to do this? Then I'll never collect. You know, I'll never buy anything, because then they could improve anything. Any of these figures, they could improve within 3-4 years. Technology's changing. Who knows? Now that J&D is also in part of this like community now, who knows? Who knows? Maybe Hot Toys will do silicone or whatever the case is, or like I said, talking Hot Toys. That would be the next step, or talking 1/6 scale figure. Hey, PJ.
I would love that Black Widow to talk to me.
Oh my goodness.
No, but dude, it's been, this is the last one we have here, but it's hopefully we don't have any more announcements tomorrow, because I'm actually working tomorrow, so I can't make any videos.
Dude, you were on
seriously
fire.
Yeah, I was off today, and I was just like, what? I woke up and I was like, what? 1, 2, 3. I thought it was just Iron Man, and I was just like, oh god,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a busy day.
Yeah.
So it took me like an hour to do that. But to wrap it off, Dilo, how many of these announcements are surefire for you?
For me right now, surefire, I'd say Grievous and Widow for sure.
Grievous and
Iron Man, I'll think about there. Vader is probably number 3 for me on that list there.
Above Iron Man?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that Vader is sick, dude. I mean, don't remember that Iron Man is sick too. But it's just like, you know, the money's adding up fast, right? You know, we're talking about potentially, gosh, I don't know,
1,500 maybe,
at least, maybe if not more, right? And then, you know, again, if I got to take, if I'm working with a blank check, that would be my answer there. But like, I'm literally looking at my phone, just hoping I don't get any more notifications for Sideshow, because I got hit twice today. Conversions left and right. I've got a Batmobile on the way. I mean,
which one?
The 89 from Hot Toys. I can't afford the Jazz Ring stuff. Too rich for my blood. But I'm just a simple man making my way through the galaxy. But yeah. So I mean, that's the other thing as well too to factor in. Like, I mean, this is not like, I'm not here to like crap on Inart and their practices and all that stuff. I mean, I'm no 1/6 lawyer. What do I know? But I'm thinking it would collect their brain. If I was a guy with $1,200 to burn, I'd like to just get one Joker, if I can have one Joker, please. And then I can buy something else. But, you know, I know some people want the 2-pack, and hey, more power to you. You could have, if they gave it to you optional separately and can buy both, you could have bought both. I would have wanted one. I want the option to have one. That's just how I feel about that. But yeah, with all the heat that's coming out, the 6 announcements here, the figures that are delayed that we still haven't gotten from Q1 and Q2 of this year, starting to finally make its way stateside, man, I am
in trouble. Really,
I'm not saying I'm in trouble. I'm in good shape because I've been doing smart things, been responsible boy, because I've kind of seen this stuff kind of happening. But it's going to be expensive for a while, and I'm not looking forward to dishing out the cash so often. I just actually went to Collector Zone, their StatueCon, last week, and I picked up 2 figures from there. I got King Shark and I got Carnage. So unexpected, good deals. I couldn't pass up on them, so I bought those. So there you go, unexpected ones as well too. So yeah, so for now, 2. I'm gonna say 2 for now. We'll see how the next paycheck looks. Right. Let's see if there's any commissions coming in soon. We'll see what happens. But yeah. Nice. 2 for now. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Awesome. How many Black Widows are you gonna get? And are you gonna
5? 5. One for each day, one for seven, one for each day of the week.
I usually skip this part.
No, but the thing, man, that Black Widow. Listen, you know, for me, I would definitely pick up the Grievous and the Vader, and the Black Widow is just more of curiosity, because you just want to look at. It's such a perfect portrait. And I rarely say that, like, you know, it's 90% there or 95%. This is like 100%. You know, it might be like Lysol, 99.9%. It's there. But I was gonna say, like, I would just pick that up for just curiosity reasons.
Right. If you get in.
If I get in.
Like her, she is she's so good that even if you go down 10%, I think she'll still look good. You know, the normal 10% that the downgrade. You all expect that, right? Like, I still think she looks good.
Yeah, but I also just want to say that, like, I think too now, like, again, we want competition because competition, breeds innovation for each company, and I think we're getting that. It's a good time to be a collector. Don't make it stressful. Like I always want to tell people, like this should be fun, and it should be fun. Like when we do these chats and stuff, like we like to speculate. I remember having these like discussions when Xbox and PS3, PS2. I would I would be in those forums. Oh, Xbox is good or Dreamcast. I was just Dreamcast guy.
Ooh, Dreamcast was the jam.
Ooh, yeah, it's like a little
Underrated.
Underrated
card that has like
Shenmue, baby.
Shenmue.
Oh, dude, that was my jam.
Me too, dude. I can't believe I was working in a video game.
I know.
I'm
driving
like,
forklift.
Yeah, I'm
This
driving.
forklift job isn't easy as they make it seem.
Yeah, like I'm actually working in a video game. Like I never thought that would happen. But anyway, no, it's good though. Like I'm very happy for Hot Toys. I think that like we're getting the Artisan edition. It's exciting. It's rejuvenating my love for Hot Toys. It was gone for a while when D'Lo was saying like, with a lot of the, all these like massive releases of figures, and they're just like like a lot of like reissues and stuff like that. But the 2.0s, the Artisan editions, the improvements here and there, the USB powered batteries, like these are great improvements, and it's exciting to be a collector, even with like Inart. Yeah, I don't know what the issue is, or I'm not really up to date with some of the things happening with the 2-pack or 3-pack. But honestly, though, I can say this for a fact from seeing from the behind the scenes things, licensors dictate a lot of things. Trust me, they do. Whether it be figures or whether it be statues. I've seen it in the statue side where they're like, you could see the concept or the renders, and you're like, wow, that's perfect. And then when you see the final product, it's like a totally different statue. And you're like, what? You ask the artist what happened. And they're like, the licensors. They came in and they nitpick and they say, you can't have this. You have to do this. So who knows? We don't know. We could speculate. But honestly, though, I just it's a good time to be a collector, man. It's to see all these innovations, all these improvements, all these products that I've always wanted to have many years ago when I was collecting. How many times when like 7-8 years ago we're like, oh, I wish they made a Grievous. Oh, I wish they made a Thrawn or this or that. And now we're getting it many years later. So yeah, it's a good time. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it was very fun. Well, it was a nice chat with both of you. So we'll end it here. But D'Lo, I know you have the Wolf Pack on Wednesday, but any new stuff going on with you? I know you're gonna do your vlog or something. Let us know what's happening, man.
Not a vlog, the vlog. Actually, it's probably the best one ever made in all times. Well, if you ask the right people. No, yes. Thank you so much, Optical, for the the invite tonight. It was fantastic kind of catching up with you here. PJ, you're an OG. You were around before when I got into the game here. So it's kind of cool getting to talk to you and kind of talk shop. So thanks for jumping on here tonight. Yeah, as far as for myself, yes, you can catch me every Wednesday on Wolfpack Wednesday with my boys. Jedi's Night's Watch, you have Brick Artemis, you have Evil Sneaker and myself, where we're going to probably rehash all this again because you just can't cover all this news in one day. There's too much to cover. Me personally, I actually have a video that I was going to put out today, but kind of reading the temperature of the room, probably better if I just drop it tomorrow. So I have my my vlog from our trip to StatueCon from Collector's Zone here. So check that out tomorrow. And just keep collecting, guys. It's exciting times, like BJ said. It's really a fun time to be a collector.
Except if you're the wife. But
touche. Yeah. Touche.
PJ, Sithcast, what's going on, man? Let us know what's happening.
Yeah, man. Like obviously I've been kind of quiet in my Man Paradox Nerd channel. I do have some stuff coming. I just been really redoing my Star Wars room. So I definitely want to do a collection tour of that room. So look out for that. And then Sithcast, we're on every Wednesday. Not this Wednesday because Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm trying to watch that like first night when it comes out. I'm excited for that movie. So probably we're gonna like reserve our like San Diego Comic-Con talk for next week. I think there's going to be a lot to talk about. I think there's a lot of cool Star Wars, not only figures, but statues that are being announced this week. So looking forward to that. But yeah, really good time. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I haven't been this excited for collectibles since before the pandemic, right? Like, Sideshow's picking up their game with their statues, their Star Wars statues, or even other things. Hot Toys is picking up their, like, my gosh, Optical back in the day would just do one preview video every 2 months. Now he does 4.
6.
He did, was it 6?
6 today.
6 in one day. That's like, but it's exciting too, because there's something to look forward to. And yeah, with Inart, I'm excited what they have in store. I didn't realize they came out with Michael Jackson today. But yeah, no. Looking forward to seeing what other 1/6 scale stuff is in the works. I'm just hoping we get more vehicles. Right?
Might get more collectibles.
You might get what you're asking for.
Yeah, maybe not vehicles, but more collectibles for next week. So,
oh yeah,
Deadpool and Wolverine's coming out. So,
oh my gosh, who's watching that first night?
Maybe not first night, but this weekend for sure.
I'm watching on Thursday. That's the earliest I can get a ticket for.
Yeah, me too.
I'm flying to Asia just to watch that. They're 1 day ahead.
Who's flexing now? Jeez.
Dude, like, what sucks is that, like, I think Asia and Australia, they get to watch it firch, right?
Yeah, I think Australia is the first in the world, right? Like, they're the earliest time zone.
I believe so. I was I think it was Australia, and a buddy of ours here, Shane, 1/6 Figure Focus. He's watching it, I believe, in 24 hours, something like that. I mean, everybody's gonna get to watch it, and it's gonna get spoiled, and it's gonna suck. But
I know. I'm just like,
Thursday is the closest I can. Like, it's out of my hands. Stay off the internet.
World from social media till then.
Yeah, which is hard. But
yeah, but it's good. Oh my gosh, I'm just, like I said, it's exciting times. Like, the last time I felt like this, like, just really quick, was like Endgame. Right? Endgame.
Yeah.
No Way Home. No Way Home.
No Way Home. Yes.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, just a good time to be a collector. So thank you, Optical, for having me on the show. D'Lo, man, such a pleasure to be in the same panel as you, man. This was a lot of fun. Yeah, man. Yeah, keep up the great work too, man. Dude, your mic sounds awesome. I love your collection in the background.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Good stuff, man.
All right. So thank you guys for joining us. Everyone in the chat, I appreciate you guys. So we'll see you in the next stream. I'll see you guys next year. All right.
Next year.
Peace out.
Take care, everybody.
Later.
And